Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, Tennessee Titans Weekly. Jacques,
Ho!
Jacques,
Ho!
what's up, ladies and gentlemen? What is going on? What is going down? As you all know, today, Coach Mike VRABEL has been fired. He has been let go of his duties as the head coach. This has been big news today. For those that, if you've been sleeping on a rock, man, I'm sure, hey, you've seen this. It's been all over the internet. It's been all over ESPN. That's been the talk of the day today, just throughout. You know, he went past Black Monday. It comes Terrible Tuesday, right? And he got let go today. So Mike VRABEL has been fired, ladies and gentlemen. Jacques, man, bro.
Yep. We talked about it yesterday on our Bleacher Report show. What is it going to happen? What happens when it does happen and everything like that. So, yeah, he has been fired. He's been relieved of his duties, and it's going to be an interesting show, man. Real interesting.
Yeah, sure is, y'all. Sure is. We got a lot to talk about with this. It's been a lot of press conferences, a lot of different things. We already got 20 people in the chat already, man. Shout out to those in the comments. Who we got in the comments right now?
And let's see. We got Jakey on. What's up? He said, "Can I get a hip hop parade? New regime."
Hip hop parade.
We got A name. He said, so it begins. We got T Patton in the building.
What up, y'all?
We got Cabo. We got James in the building. Hey, we got Big Sad. We got Tremaine. We got
Kelly.
Anthony. Hey, they piling on in here. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wow, y'all. So, hey, again, big news today. Mike VRABEL fired as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Amy Adams Strunk today made that announcement today. Took a day to look at it. So I'm gonna read this just real quick, man, and we're gonna get into this. So this kind of give you all a breakdown as far as what she stated today. She said she spoke with Mike VRABEL and told him about my decision to make the change as head coach. I told Coach VRABEL the decision was difficult as I've made as a controlling owner. I appreciate his contributions to the Titans, both on and off the field. And anyone who has ever met him knows how passionate he is. Shout out to his family as the NFL continues to innovate and evolve, which I think is huge in this statement. I believe teams have been positioned to sustain success. Those will be those who can be empowered and aligned and collaborate as a team across all football functions. So she spoke even last year. We began a shift in our approach on leadership and made several changes. I believe the Tennessee Titans can be a premier NFL franchise, is what our fans deserve, and these hard decisions come along the way. My decision today is not only a reflection of the disappointment over the last 2 seasons, but also her recognition in further changes being necessary. And she lastly says, I will not shy away from acknowledging that I have unapologetically high expectations. We feel you, Amy. And so with this coaching search available, there's a enviable cap space and a top 10 draft position. This offseason is as important as any in our history. So she's excited about this. So shout out to those in the chat. So Jacques, I'm gonna throw a question out for you, bro. And those in the comment section, throw your questions out there as well, too. You know how we do, man. Throw your comments out there. So Jacques, you heard it this morning, man. My phone was blowing up all day, bro. Calls, texts. So how do you feel about it, bro? How do you feel about the news of hearing Mike VRABEL, the head coach for the last 6 seasons for the Titans, being fired?
Initially I thought I would be like shocked. And I was like, oh man, but to be honest with you, man, it's kind of one of those things. It's a pro and a con to it, right? The pro is you have a lot of continuity, a lot of the same thing. It's comfortable. You're comfortable, right? It's like being on your job for 30 years and you don't have no changes. Everything's the same. It's been the same since we can remember, running the ball, doing things. But then I had to think about it. VRABEL has only won, in the past, 2 years, if that's the case?
Yep.
A total of 7 games? Okay, that's the last 25 games, bro. 7-18. All right. 7-18. We can talk about the roster. We can talk about the talent. We can talk about all that, right? I can give you that to a certain extent. But at the end of the day, man, if you're not changing your philosophy, if you're not changing your staff, if you're not changing ways to win, the offensive line has been horrible for 2 years. You had a left tackle problem for almost 2 years. You have like 2-3 left people on your team on your offensive line that can play left tackle, right? A la Peter Skoronski. Why didn't you even consider putting him at left tackle, right?
Yep.
So then I got to put myself in Amy's shoes. Okay, how can I how can I think this thing through? She mentioned that she had been. This is not an overnight thing. This has been a months thing, and she's tired of losing, right? And I understand it. I get it. I understand it. We were all good up until Green Bay. We still all had complaints about the offensive coordinator then. He didn't want to make no changes. I've always said this about Vrabel. He's a good coach, a good leader of men, but he has a problem with stubbornness and the people around him. And when you have Jim Schwartz on your coaching staff and he's just there for consulting, that's a problem. He should have been elevated to the DC coordinator position right away, right? You should have went outside the organization besides bringing in Tim Kelly and saying, hey, you're going to be a coordinator, a consultant, and then we're going to promote you. That's our way of saying we pull somebody from the outside. No, you need fresh minds in here besides yours being the only mind in the room. And this just tells me that Amy's not playing. And it should have dawned on me when she fired John Robinson in the middle of the season. It should have dawned on me. And I said, you know what? And I got to thinking some more. It should have dawned on me that she's not playing. She wants to win. And at the end of the day, what surprises me is how much power and how much say she has in everything that is done on a day-to-day, right? And it's kind of scary. It's like, damn. Okay, so Mike Vrabel can be fired. And if I'm in that front office, if I'm in that building, I'm scared. Because at that point, he was the love of the quote-unquote friend. He's the poster child of the league, right? The league respects Mike Vrabel. The league loves Mike Vrabel, right? He's a leader of men. He's this. Okay, cool. When Tennessee, we see what we've been seeing it. We've been working with it. We're tired of it, right? So if she's saying, okay, well, I'll get rid of the golden child, I don't care. I'm trying to win. That should have that's me personally not doing my due diligence and paying attention to the situation that at this point anybody can get it, right? I don't care if you Ran Carthon, I don't care if you Mike Vrabel, I don't care if you the dog in the doggone building, you can get fired too. You can get sent to the pound. So my initial reaction was I was shocked a little bit, but then I had to come back and logically think, she's not playing. She fired John Robinson after a game. You lose to Houston twice, and what I've heard is those are the biggest games that they want to win because of the ties between the two franchises. And the way you lose from the first time and then come through the second time and you lose to them, that's not no joke, man. And then you have had one of the worst offensive lines in a span of 2 years, really going on 3, and it hasn't been corrected yet. And I know they've had these conversations. They've had to have these conversations, right? You have to have a meeting with this man and say, hey, man, you need to fix your situation. Why are you not fixing your situation? Why are you not fixing your situation? Why are you not fixing it? And this ultimately came down to it. So, again, I was surprised initially, but then I had to kind of snap back and be like, okay, this makes sense. This is Amy Adams Trump. She's not playing, and she's with it. Okay, so that's my thoughts. What about you, Hawk?
Facts, no paper. We got 47 people in the chat. Who we got out there before I answer this question, man? Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Who we got out there?
Oh man, we gotta go. Let me go up. I know Keisha just came in the building.
Keisha Bible, what's up?
Let's see here. We got Keisha. We got Amita here.
What's up?
We got Gino. Let's see here. We got Justice. We got Bryce in the building. We got Blaze in the building. Golly, y'all come in heavy. We got What's Eddie up? In the building.
What up, Coach?
We got Ocho.
What up, young Ocho? What's up, bro?
We got pieces of Lily. Got Toya in the building. What up, Toya?
What's going on, man?
Let me see. Happening? We got James Rodriguez in the building. Let's see. We'll get to these. Y'all saying some hot fire in the freaking comment section. So yeah, man. We're gonna get to that in a minute. Talk Tuesday. We got Awaken in the building, man. They bringing the heat in here, man. They bringing the heat. Like, man, they bringing the heat. We got Chris in the building.
What up?
Blaze,
what up, y'all?
Bro?
What's good? What's up, y'all?
Man, down here heavy.
So my initial thoughts when I seen it, I initially was like, "You got to be kidding me! We fired Mike Vrabel? Really? This guy's a great. Well, I ain't gonna say great. He's a very good coach, right?" And I was like, "Wow!" Like, I've been on the field to say, "Hey, we have stunk because of our talent, right? Our talent's been the biggest problem. I think even over coaching." So that was my initial thoughts, right? But then I, wanted to give it some time because sometimes it's like, anytime you first hear the news, you want to react. And a lot of times your first initial reaction is not the real reaction after you get to thinking about it, right? It's like, you know what? Mm-hmm. let me break for us. Let me take a pause before I say this, right? Let me do that first. So then I hear Amy Adams Strunk saying, she wants to go into a new direction. She felt that, trading Vrabel would be complicated and would take too long of a process. They wanted to move on quickly. I think she felt that he was probably going to bring his staff back. And it's been the same story over the last 2 years. Probably going to be the next story next year, right? Yes, with more talent. Yes, with better players. We should be better. Yes. But you know what we got coming up soon, man? We got a new stadium. You know what else we got coming up? We have salary cap over $100 million, the number one in the NFL. So we have a lot of dynamics that are different next year than they've ever have been. So she's wanting to move in another direction. Number three, there's a lot of good possible head coaches that's out there. So she's like, you know what? This might be an opportunity for me just to see what's out there. Vrabel, you've done your thing. Rand didn't know about this, and it happened. And so my thoughts now is more like this. Vrabel's a very good coach, and I've been a Vrabel fan since day one, and I know he'll go somewhere and do great. But I think Amy is like, look, I'm looking at your last few games, the last 25 games, you're 7-18 at the end of the day. Yes, you can coach men and things like that, but we need more dynamics. There's a lot of new coaches out there that are successful. There are a lot of teams like the Houston Texans who went from fourth in the division to number one in the division in 1 year, right? When you look at the draft to me is the reason why he got fired. Yes, John Robinson catches the smoke, but just like when you smoke blunts, you pass it around, right? You smoke and you pass it around. He smoked some of that too. He wasn't not in the room when those drafts were being made. He was in there with John Rob, like, I need these type of players. Go get them for me. J. Rob's like, okay, well, here, get you this guy, get you this guy, get you this guy. And then, look, shout out to Brett, man. Shout out to that boy, Brett Mav. Again, he put on Twitter, you think he won 10 rings in 6 years, because a lot of fans are kind of like, well, why do we fire him? Why are we fire him? Look, man, we are in the business of winning. You haven't won in 2 years, and it didn't look good maybe going into next year. We needed something different. So I'm kind of on the fence now, on this side of the fence, to say, I understand Amy. I do understand.
Yep.
Something's got to change. You know what I'm saying? And I look at it like, okay, if you keep them, we need to bring a whole new coaching staff, right? But I think she's like, hey, look, we need everybody. Like, I just want a clean house, And one thing we're going to do on this show, we're going to put a stake in claim where, say, like in a year or two, when something happens, I'm be like, hey, we said we was all right with it, right? Even if we lost every game next year, we still like, hey, I feel like this was a good decision. It's tough when you're dealing with a relationship with somebody that's maybe a good person, but not a good fit. And I think that's where Amy's standing on this. That's where she's standing. So I'm okay with it. Let's get something new. We got new things coming. Let's get the train rolling, bro. So that's where I'm at, man. That's where I'm at. Shout out to everybody in the comment section, by the way.
I like it. And I know, Hawk, you've been adamant to bring in Jim Harbaugh. We're going to talk about that in a minute, because I got something with it. I agree with it, but I'm also going to add a monkey wrench in there too. Let me see. I'm going to say this about Rand.
Rand said on Twitter.
Rand has respect around the league too. I don't think people realize that, how much respect he has also, but he has respect around the league as well. So again, it's going to be interesting. So let me ask you this.
Yep.
With everything that's happened and transpired, do you think it was the right move at the right time?
There's something that Amy Adams Strunk knows. There's something. So when you speak of Rand, right? So when we speak of Rand, this is what I'm looking at when I think of Rand, right? This is Rand in the kitchen cooking, right? Right? He needs to cook right now. Y'all see him in the oven? Rand, get the cooking, bro. Get the cooking, right? So Rand, get your seasoning. You got your Montreal steak, some good seasoning, by the way, man. Put it on your steak, your chicken, your burgers. I'm talking about, this is great. Get this going. Get you a little hot sauce. Put some hot sauce on your food, right? Even, hey, you want to put a little mesquite rub on your chicken here, right here? And look, I got my spatula. I got my tongs. Y'all see that right here, right? I want Rand to get the cooking. There is something that they know as to why they did this. I don't know what it is, but I think they know there's some opportunities out there to get some new coaches. So because of that, I do think this is the right move. I think it's more on, not against Vrabel, man, but I just think they're just tired of the same old thing. And yes, the talent hadn't been there. They hadn't been as great as they could be. But at the end of the day, in 2 years, you've won 7. You go to the last 25 games, you've only won 7 games. And even at your job, wherever you're working, you could be the best employee with the best attendance, the best attitude, and everything. But if you're not performing in 2 years, you're probably going to get fired. Or they're going to put you on the PIP, right? So this is the right move. With everything coming down the pipeline, I think this is the right move. So, Rand, all I ask you to do, bro, it's going to be, hey, it's on Rand. He's got a lot of pressure on him, bro. He's got to cook. Rand's got to cook because she's giving him full control of the coach and the players. I think she's like, look, I'm giving it to you. There's opportunities. You have connections. Hey, get to LinkedIn, Rand. Get your San Francisco 49er connections. We said on Twitter, if you got connections with like guys like Harbaugh, oh my God, right? If you have those type of connections, they never work together, but there's connections. I think that's the reason why I think this is the right move, y'all. What about you, bro?
Yeah, I agree with it. I know it's the right move. I mean, again, we've been doing the same thing over and over again. It's been like a stale shoe, and it's time to. I agree 100% when she's saying innovation, trying to move in a different direction. She wants to move. Like you said, we got a new stadium coming. So with that, you also want to bring in that new style of play, how it's in 2024, right? We've got a taste of that with Tajay Spears and Will Levis, especially Tajay. Tajay reminds me of a Christian McCaffrey or just a scat back that can catch out the backfield and do a lot of amazing things. So he's a part of that new trend, right? But you're trying to get the whole team to be on that particular new trend. It's like, okay, we got a new trend that we're trying to get up here. We're trying to be innovative. Titans have been playing 1960 ball. That's just what it is, right? Especially under Vrabel. Vrabel's an old school guy. If he goes to the Patriots, he fits the Patriots very well. They're an old school team. They're a Boston team, and we know how Boston is, right? So, again, the city of Nashville is booming. It's growing. It's this new hipster young town, and you want to get on this hipster wave. You want to get with your team. Your team, every other team in Nashville, every other venue in Nashville that has a team is jumping. The Predators, the Nashville Soccer Club, the Memphis Grizzlies, right? They got a new young core, a new energy to them. The Titans are still this stale old shoe that's just sitting in the back of the freaking closet, just sitting there stinking, right? And we're doing the same thing. And then also, as you said too, Hawk, where you think you said because of the draft is what got him fired. Also, from a financial standpoint, think about it. How many fans are really going to the games now, right? I'm a season ticket holder. We're not selling no stadiums out like that.
Facts.
People are tired. I don't want to go sit in the cold and watch them lose. I mean, that's my team. I love them to death, but still, I can be doing something different on my Saturday, right? So, yes, I think it was the right move at the right time, right? Because you want to do it now before it's too late. Because you can miss on this crop of coaches, and then the next batch is trash, right? Yep. And the next batch is trash. So try to get on what you can get on now before it gets too late. That makes sense.
That does. That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense.
Ian, what up, Ian? He said Jared
What up,
was
Fred?
dog whistling. Hey, if you heard Jared's show today, I don't know, Hawk, if you caught it, but
I did.
Ian was correct. He
was on
so
bad about Rand, bro.
Man, dog, he was on one today. Him and Paul Kaharski. Paul Kaharski was on one today too. Paul is mad because him and Rand had a beef, and that's the reason Paul is mad. So there's some underlying in there. I ain't like that, man. I'm with you, Ian.
Cook Rand. Cook Rand.
I'm with you, bro.
Let him cook. Cook Rand. Get your tongs and your seasoning out, bro. Cook Rand. Cook. Cook. Exactly. Cook Rand. Cook. All right. So, Jacques. So, this was a tweet, man, that was out today, man. I thought this was a tweet, man, that you shared with me, man, about. So, do you all see this, right? So, Robbie Stanley from the Nashville Predators stated that the Titans have an ownership problem. An ownership problem. Guess who reposted that? Carter Vrabel. That's Mike Vrabel's son. Now, again, when you see your father getting let go as a family, that doesn't feel good. So I understand that. You're going to take up for your father. I do. I understand that. But here's the question I have for you, Jacques, and those in the comment section. Do we, as an organization, 70 people in the chat, by the way, hit subscribe if you have not subscribed, hit that like button if you have not hit the like button. Do we, as the Tennessee Titans, have an ownership problem?
Do we have an ownership problem? I don't say not necessarily, because she's willing to make the sacrifices to get to the next step is what I like, because it was a minute there where we were stagnant, right? and we were wanting to make changes, but didn't nobody want to pull the trigger. We've had coaches here that's been here too long. We've had coaches here that's not been here long enough. We've had general managers that's been here long enough. So I don't think we do, but I will say this: it's a big old but. Okay, the problem I got with sometimes with Amy is being too involved. You know what I mean? I don't mind her being involved, but you need to let your people cook. You need to let your people work. Okay. You need to let them. That's like having a micromanager as a boss. Leadership can suck sometimes, especially if you have a micromanager, right? If he or she is constantly hovering over you like a bat, then you got a problem, right? So with this particular notion here, because I know they did ask they asked Amy who's going to have responsibility over the roster, who's going to have what duties are going to be dished down. She said, I don't know yet, right? Well, in that case, let them do their things, right? Let them do their things like Jerry Jones, right? Let them do their thing. And so sometimes when you meddle, it's a two sword. It's two parts of this. Sometimes when you meddle, it works, right?
Yep.
And I think I shared this with you, Hawk. I believe Amy was the one that pulled the trigger on Will Levis. The way she talks about him, the way she carries herself, I think she picked him. Okay, it just is what it is. Shout out to my pops on that. But also, when you meddle too much, you can hurt your bottom line, right? So I believe you now you got John Robinson gone, and now you got Mike Vrabel gone. We hear collaboration, we hear this thing, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Now, with the new coach, he comes in. If he starts complaining, like I said, we don't have an ownership problem yet. But if I hear this new coach coming in here and I hear rumors about complaints or anything, then that's when I need to start questioning ownership. But right now, no, we don't have an ownership problem. But it can change if you have this new person come in and he's like, look, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I'll be like, why, whoever you are? Just know I can't do this. At that point, yes, we have an ownership. Right now, no, we don't. What about you, Hawk?
So, facts, no paper, Jacques. That's some great words there, bro. So this is what I look at with Amy, man. She's quick to pull the trigger, man. She is. And, for those that have been out there saying, hey, the Titans don't make no moves, shoot. I want to say another word, right? Hey, Amy will pull the trigger on you, okay? She's trigger happy. So,
trigger man.
I can see people thinking that she's kind of too quick on the trigger, so to speak, to fire John Robinson in the middle of the season. And then it didn't do anything because we ended up losing every game from there, right? We didn't win. I don't think we won another game from that, right? So I don't think we have an ownership problem because if we did, I do think players would talk more, if that makes sense, about the owner and not wanting to play with her. One, she's a woman, right? So I think they would make that a big issue if that was the case. Probably bigger than what it could be, period. But because you don't hear that, people really like playing here. You listen to Derrick Henry, you listen to Taylor. These guys like being here, right? Amy's a big part of that. Mike Vrabel did not want to leave. He was fine here, right? So I just think for Amy next year, I do think if she could hire even somebody like within a support system, right? Because when things start to fire off, that's when Amy steps in like, hold up for a minute, hold up a second. When things are all right, it seems as if Amy's cool, she'll let it be. But when things are kind of going into turmoil, Amy's kicking down the door. And then that's cool. But I wanted to make sure as well, man, from an ownership standpoint is let's make sure I think this move here, whoever we hire, the players that we bring in, she's finally, last year, look, we were in a disadvantage last year. We were one of the worst teams in the salary cap. We brought in all these older players. We brought in guys that, that was losing from the year before. We didn't have this year's exciting. This is an exciting time. Now you have a new coach. Your GM has stepped up. Now he's about to do his thing. We got new. We're number one in the league, and we haven't been this way in a long time, bro. We got draft picks, so I think now, starting today, we can judge Amy Adams Strunk right now, starting today, right? It is going to take about 3 years. Let's see what happens within that time frame. But let's see who she brings in. Let's see how well we do with the new stadium. I think Judgment Day starts today as far as ownership, because we've been in a rut over the last 2 years. We're finally over that. We're here now. So now what's up, right? Let's start new. You know what I mean? Like a lot of new relationships, everything is sweet and great. Let's see how long that lasts, right? So I don't think we have an ownership problem, but it can be. It can be. She pulls a let her. I'm gonna tell y'all this. If we don't draft well next year, shout out to my brother, Mark the Skeptic. He feels that Amy could let Rand Carthon go in a year if we don't do well with this draft and the players. So then at that point, I'm like, boy, she's quick on the trigger. You know, if that's 3 in a row, she's quick on the trigger, right? I'm not sitting there saying Mike Vrabel just was here. He's been here for 6 years. So it's not that. She gave him some opportunities. But, we'll see. She might end up letting these coordinators go. I have no idea because in her comments, she said, hey, we're trying to do something brand freaking new. What does that mean, ma'am? Let me know. What does that mean? So that's where I'm at with it, bro.
Yep, I agree. I agree. It's again, she's not playing. But again, she's not playing at all. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Let me see.
She herself said. She said, Titans to me, this is for a comment in Twitter. To me, the biggest and most refreshing part of Mike Keith's interview when Amy Adams was that she's sick of Vrabel's convocation of morons that she's had on the staff. It was time to make a change. I hate that it cost Vrabel his spot, but she made the tough decision, and I respect her for it.
What have I been saying? What have I been? Only thing that Vrabel had to do was change his people around him, man. That's the only thing you had to do, Vrabel, and you can still be here.
Yeah,
you'll still be here.
Yep.
Look at, and I'm gonna debunk the defensive coordinator coach mantra that they don't get no love. Look at what's the Houston coach's name?
DeMeco Ryans.
DeMeco Ryans. Look at DeMeco Ryans. Look at that offensive coordinator for Houston, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Yep. Look what he's been able to do. He let him do his job. Do your job, bro. Cook. Do your thing. And when you do that, yeah, you're about to lose them, but you're creating a network system to where from now on, whoever comes through there, I know the Nico man gonna let me do my thing, right? I'm gonna be up in here doing my thing. You feel me?
Yep.
Versus sitting there, I got my hands are tied. My hands are tied.
Yep. For sure. Yep.
So yeah. So we're gonna get to the last question, and then we'll get to the favorite part of the show.
Yes, sir.
So where do we go from here, Hawk? My light just went out. Keep going.
Okay, you good. So I think what's next, man. Let me tell you why your light is out right now, Jacques. Rand is he's on the oven cooking, man. It was an electrical surge, bro. That's all that is. Rand just cooking. That's all. Rand's cooking. He's got the hot sauce on the oven. He's got some mesquite, barbecue rub. He's ready. You know what I'm saying? So what's next is this, man. We got to hire the right guy as the head coach. We have to. It is paramount. Okay. So when you look at the list of coaches that are out there right now that that some people are saying that would be an opportunity to replace Vrabel. We got Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for Lions. I think that would be a great option there. Mike McDonald, the DC for the Ravens, the OC for the Texans, Bobby Slowick, Steve Wilkes, the DC for the 49ers, Raheem Morris, the DC for the Rams, Todd Monken, the OC for the Ravens, and also Brian Callahan, the OC for the Bengals. So you got a combination of OC and DC, and I know a lot of people want to have probably an OC to sort of change the narrative here since Vrabel was a DC. To me, it depends on the person. I'm okay with getting an offensive coordinator. I mean, you look at, Antonio Pierce for the Raiders. You look at DeMeco Ryans for the Texans. There's a lot of defensive coordinators that are successful as well, too. But, I'll look at, okay, I might have OC up front, as far as what's next, as far as, who should we look for? But, I know there's been a lot of talk about other coaches that are not on this list, in particular Eric Bieniemy. I think initially I would think he'd probably go to the Washington Commanders since they fired their coach. But then I just saw not too long ago that they might not interview him for the head coaching position. I think it's kind of weird. Like, he's not being hired. I have no idea what's going on. But, I would think that's it. But my pick, y'all, my pick is Jim Harbaugh. That's who I want, bro. Get your LinkedIn. Hey, Rand, you got the Atlanta Falcons as your LinkedIn profile, bro. Change it up. Get your LinkedIn ready. Get them 49er contacts together. Get with Jim Harbaugh. Give him what he wants. Bring him in here. All right, so we got a super chat. All right, what we got, Jacques?
Sports Tackler, $4.99. Do you think Vrabel was also fired due to injuries? Kind of strange that other players like Long and Brown are just fine elsewhere.
Ooh.
Yes, I think it's a factor. I think you can factor in everything. Yes.
Yep. Yep. Sportacular. Do 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 do.
Boom.
Sportacular in the building. First and foremost. Appreciate it, Sportacular. So I think that's what's next, Jacques. Sportacular, I do agree. I do think that's a part of it too. But I think, man, what's next? We got to find the right coach, man. And I'm okay with him bringing in his entire staff. If you want to fire everybody on our staff, I don't like to see people go and get fired. I don't like that. But that's the nature of the business. Fire everybody. Get rid of everybody and just start over. If you bring in a guy, that's what normally happens. So what about you, Jacques?
Yeah, I mean everything you said was facts, no paper. I mean that's the next step. I mean you got to go and you got to interview these guys. I do think that most of the staff is probably gone anyway, especially when the new guys come in. Because like somebody said, they said Amy wants that. Hey, they're Damon. That's my guy, Damon. What up, Damon? Tighten up.
What up, Damon?
He said Amy wants that San Francisco culture. She wants a culture. She's tired of being the New England Titans. She's tired of being the Houston Titans. Hopefully, we ain't trending to be the San Francisco Titans. But I mean, she wants a culture. She wants that culture to where how it was when she first hired Mike Vrabel and John Robinson. We got to get back to that, and she wants something. And if she sees how everything's trending, don't people think that she don't pay attention? She pays attention. She knows. Absolutely. Okay, what they doing over there? Are they having? Oh, okay, they winning. Okay, what else they doing over there? Okay, cool. So everybody on that list. Everybody on that list is going to get interviewed. Probably Jim Schwartz too. It wouldn't surprise me. They're going to go through the extensive interview process, and Rand has full say-so in this. So Rand is doing the interviewing. So this is his show, right? It's a lot of pressure, big dog, but it's your show. It's you now, and they can't blame it on nobody else. But this list is very extensive, and these guys got to come in, and they have to wow the interview, right? Because it's not going to be an easy process trying to get hired on. It's not. Right, you got to explain to me what you bringing to the table, what culture you bringing, your staff, who you planning? Because it's almost like Amy want to know who you planning on hiring as your OCDC, and she probably might have some say so in that too because she's seen how things have run too, right? So you can be like, well, I'm gonna hire Blow. She's like, nah, that ain't happening, right? That ain't happening at all. So that's my thoughts on it, man. Everything that you said is facts on paper. We got another $10 super chat from Bryce Stubbs in the building. He says, what do y'all think about the rumors that Levis and Vrabel are not liking each other? Do y'all like that play? Did you think that played a factor? Do y'all think that played a factor? If so, how big of a factor? Now, Bryce, before we answer this question, we're going to say this for the chop up, my brother. But we got to give you that boom.
Absolutely, you know Bryce. Bryce Tubbs. Do-do-do-do.
Boom.
Bryce Tubbs in the building. Appreciate it, Bryce. Appreciate it, man.
So, yes, that's my thoughts, man. Again, I think they're going – and somebody else said it too. I got to find that particular chat. And whoever you said it, you said it. Rand Carthon mentioned that he's not going to base this decision off of one player. And I think Remy, great call. He said, no, she doesn't want Levis to be the cornerstone. She wants balance, be one of 11, not the only one.
Right.
That's a great way of thinking because – if we're going to put him up here and the only deciding factor is him, that's a problem, right?
That is.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
He has a lot to prove.
He's not a franchise quarterback yet.
Yeah, he's got stuff to prove.
He's got a lot to prove, right?
Yep.
And so, again, there we go. So that's my thoughts about it, bro.
Okay. All right, y'all. Well, hey, we got 84 people in the chat, man. As Jacques mentioned, we are about to get into our live chop up. For those, man, who don't know as well, man, hey, listen, real quick, you all can check us out on Bleacher Report, man. We are on Bleacher Report. We are the official Tennessee Titans podcast on Bleacher Report, man. So, hey, download the app. You can follow us as well on Bleacher Report, man. Hey, check us out, man. Hey, we got content on there as well. And you know, hey, we out here, bro. We are out here. So, we're on Apple and Spotify, too. I meant to mention that as well. All right, so let's get to our favorite part of the show, bro. The live chop up. All right, so we're going to give you all an opportunity to sit at the dinner table. Chop up the ingredients, just like we got here with the seasoning, the hot sauce, the barbecue rub. We got it all. And we're going to give you all an opportunity, man, to ask us questions, man. Hey, if you throw a super chat, that supersedes any other question. Throw us questions. We're going to fire them off. Mike Vrabel fired today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So go back to I'm gonna go back to Bryce's question here, Hawk. And I'm pubbing this up, so give me 1 minute. So he says, what do y'all think about the rumors that Levis and Vrabel not liking each other? Do y'all think that played a factor? If so, how big of a factor? Hawk, do you think that played a factor?
Let me tell you this, man. A lot of times, man, I'm gonna tell you what I've been noticing lately, Jacques. Tell me if you agree with this or not. A
Okay,
lot of times, man, speculations.
before you continue, we got a $2 super chat.
Okay, all right,
Offensive
cool.
minded head coach to help Levis reach his potential. Titan South, $2. Let's give him that boom, 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 boom,
Absolutely,
bro.
man. Titan South. Do 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 do.
Boom.
Titan South in the building. Appreciate it, Titan South. So tell me what y'all feel about this. A lot of times when things are like there's speculation, we be just kind of like, ain't no, that's not real. Hey man, it be like 80% of things that be out there be real. I'd be like, whoa, that actually happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I'd be like, they ain't got no beef. And you come to find out, like, they actually did have beef. They did have beef, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, sometimes we gotta not just take it with a grain of salt. We might have put the whole bag of salt on the chicken, right? So I'm gonna say this, man. I personally don't think they had beef. I think they were just two alpha males working with each other. And, I think, to your point, Amy wanted to draft Will Levis. I don't think Vrabel did. I don't think so. Now, I might be wrong, but that's speculation. I might believe that. But I think once he brought him in, saw him play, because he had an opportunity to keep Tannehill out there quarterback, and he didn't. He kept Levis out there, right? And then, he was, trying to keep Levis as calm as possible. I know he might not have shown the support, but I think he was trying to be like a father figure, so to speak. Like, hey, so I'm trying to keep you calm because he's a hyper guy. I don't think they had problems, but I do think Vrabel might not be maybe the right coach for his development. As a person, yes, I think he's really a good coach for him. We need developers here. We've always said Vrabel is a strong coach of men. We need guys that can come here and develop these guys. A lot of guys have not gotten better. So that's my thoughts. What about you, Jacques?
So I do think there's some truth. Matter of fact, I'm finna start believing everything I hear when it comes as a rumor. Because like you said, man, what I've been hearing, what we've been hearing, we try to shoo it off as fans. You try to shoo, oh, no, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. No, it happened. So I believe it. I believe it, like you said, not quite of a beef, but we know Vrabel wanted CJ Stroud. We know him and Rand Carthon wanted CJ Stroud. That's who they wanted, right? But they couldn't move up and get him. Smart chess move by the Texans, by the way. But Vrabel seen something in Stroud that, I mean, ultimately was right. He was right. I mean, he dude is cold. Okay.
Yeah.
So with Levis, the thing about Levis is somebody said it the best. He's more of a gunslinger, but he's not a system guy, right? He's going to do his own thing. It's just what it is. And again, to me, it's just me. I'm not jumping on the hype train just yet because I'm a prove it type of person. You got to prove it to me some more, right? It just is what it is. And that's how Vrabel is. Vrabel's like, I came from a system of the New England Patriots where you had to earn it and earn it, right? You had to earn it, learn it, earn it, learn it. And that's what it is, right? So with that, I do believe they had some type of disagreement. I do feel like because Vrabel's ego, Vrabel is the guy. He's not going to let another guy come in and outshine him anyway, right? Even look at the King. The King is not a rah-rah guy, right? He's very cool, calm demeanor. Most of the team is not like that. I think we've talked about this, Hawk. Do we have any dogs on this team that really was just out vocal and just vocal dogs, right? No. Everybody's nice. Everybody's cool. So I think with that, Levis was the only guy that was vocal. Levis is the energy. He's he's crazy. Okay. That's how Levis is. He's like that. So just with Vrabel, he's like, man, calm down. So I think it does have a little bit of truth to it, man. I do. I really do.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna go back to your thing about Jim Harbaugh.
Yes, sir.
I would love to have Jim Harbaugh in here. The thing is, would Jim Harbaugh want to come here? That's a huge sale. I know it's an exciting thing to say, oh, we can go get Jim Harbaugh. Yes, we can. But Jim Harbaugh has something that not a lot of these other coaches like Ben Johnson and the OC from Houston. See, those guys are not head coaches. They haven't been head coaches before, right? Not even at the collegiate level, not at the pro level. So they're more willing to take and say, hey, I'm more willing to come in and learn the system and put my system in, but I'm willing to put my time in. Jim, on the other hand, he's been to a Super Bowl, okay? He's been to the promised land. He just won a national championship in college. So if I'm him, if I'm coming from Michigan, where they have everything they like this. Just me personally. If I got the world in my hands, I'm trying to go to a product or a place where I don't have to really do too much of building, right? I can kind of say I'm missing one or two pieces here, and I can kind of plug them and go right away, right? Like a la Atlanta, like a la let me see who else got fired. Hell, the Jets coach got fired. That'll be an attractive place, right? And then he made a mention, and I don't know how true this is. He said JJ McCaffrey, I think McCaffrey.
No, you had it right, JJ McCarthy.
Okay, JJ McCarthy. He wants to somehow draft him. With a new coach, he brings a new attitude. He sees something that we might not see. So if we happen to do get Jim Harbaugh, how would you feel? How would y'all feel if he says, "Hey, Will Levis Amy is really not my guy. We can keep him, but I'm also going to draft my guy, JJ from Michigan, and we're going to bring him in as a backup, and we're going to revamp this thing around him." How would you feel about that? Would that hurt? Would you be okay with that? You see what I'm saying? So I would love Jim Harbaugh. I would love him. I would love him to be. Matter of fact, he might be on the first on the list. Rand got to sell. I mean, he has to sell this thing because you're not selling it to him. I mean, he's not selling it to you. You selling it to him. That's like going out and getting Bill Belichick in his prime. It's like, hey, Bill, damn, can you come here? This is what we got. We got A, B, C, D, E, F, G. What you think, right? So that's my thoughts on the Jim Harbaugh thing. I hope they interview him. I hope Rand can put his sales hat on.
Right.
Woo.
Okay.
That'd be a hell of a pickup if we do get him. If we do get him, this team will shoot up fast. Let me say that. What he was able to do with Kaepernick, and I'm not saying Kaepernick wasn't trash, but you know what I mean.
Right. I think Jim Harbaugh. I heard it something about with JJ McCarthy. I mean, I don't know how much that would be in the case of him. You hired me, I got to draft. I don't know. I'm going to say if I take that out of the picture, right? I think the advantage that he would have here. Okay, I keep hearing about the Chargers, and again, these are all speculation, right? The only good thing about the Chargers is that you live in LA. The Chargers might be the worst franchise of support in the league. So he really would go down from Michigan to the Chargers, right? The Chargers have like 5 fans. Now, Michigan, to your point, is the ultimate. But you know what speaks louder than working in Michigan? You know that song by the OJs? Money, 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 money.
Hey, if you can sell it. Yeah. If you can bring the Brinks truck.
Yeah, right. What I'm saying is that, if that happens, you know what I'm saying? I think it's a long shot. I don't think it's going to happen. But if the question is asked, I'm saying Harbaugh. If you're going to let a good coach, a very good coach in Mike Vrabel, you better upgrade. And he has been very good in building teams. He built San Diego to an FCS, not a title. We went to the championship. He did the same at Stanford when he had Andrew Luck. He did the same with the 49ers. And he did the same with Michigan. They wanted him gone in Michigan. They was like, Harbaugh's like, hey, y'all just be patient. Be cool. I got this. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's a like I said, if we get him, shout out to Rand Carthon for that, because you sold that. You sold it, right? If we can get him. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, I just look at coaches like that. I'm like, it's like, I don't know. That's like me going to a new job and I all the skill set and you underpaying me. Like you said, you got to back up the Brinks truck. And even then, do I want the stress? How much workload? What's my workload? What do I have to do? Right. So Derek says, how many games has Vrabel screwed up because he couldn't manage the clock correctly? What you think, Hawk? You think? I don't. Nah. I think Vrabel was okay with it. I mean, yeah, but Vrabel was good at the chess game when it came to the rules and the clock management. In my opinion, I think he was pretty good at that. Again, it's not like he was trash, right? It really.
He wasn't.
Right. Awaken to the Eternal.com says, would Harbaugh be downgrading in terms of ego if he came to the Titans? So what do you mean by ego?
So I think he is. I think what you're saying, Awaken, is would Harbaugh be downgrading in terms of ego? So I think this. I think Harbaugh's got super ego. He has more ego than Vrabel, if you ask me.
He want control too.
Yep. And I think it's more quiet and subtle, right? And doesn't even seem facially that he has that. Oh, he's got ego. But you know what he has behind that ego now? He has a national championship.
Championship.
He's got a Super Bowl game under his. He's got wins behind his belt. He has success. He had Stanford undefeated, right? Stanford's been trash since then. So that's a part of it. A part of ego is success. If you have ego and you ain't successful, you look like a clown. Right. You got a little ego. So it might be a downgrade as far as visuals, but I think he's as if not more egotistical than VRABEL. I think he's got super ego.
Yep. And he has experience. Willie said Harbaugh ain't coming. He's either going to LA or Vegas, or LA or Vegas.
Yeah.
So, but like he said, Harbaugh's a proven factor. That's the thing that his resume. That's why I say instead of he sell it to you. His resume speaks for itself.
Yep.
Man, we got to sell it to him. Like, here, man, we're gonna offer you this much money to come here and do what you got to do. Now it's on you to put this thing together. And now I will say that it's going to come with some hurt, because if he feels like certain players ain't his players, they gone. And fans got to understand that if we got Harbaugh, I would trust everything he said. I trust the process. I'm like, I'm going to trust you. Go ahead, because you've been here before. You know what you're doing. And if you feel like that player is not where he needs to be, get him up out of here. If you feel like that player is where he needs to be, get him up on here. Yep. Now, I got a question. While people still putting in their questions, does this change the outset of the draft with the 7th pick? With the new coach coming in.
Yes, it does. It does. We don't know who the coach is, and we don't know their philosophy. So I think so. Yes. Sometimes they might not want the obvious, right? They want what they want, right? They might say, yeah, it's gonna sound crazy. They might say, I want a quarterback. Then what? Yeah. Like, whoa, right?
Hey,
they might.
Hey, bro, nothing is above reproach with this team now. This is the scary part about this. This is the exciting but scary part, because that's a hell of a point, Hawk. Facts, no paper. They can mess around and say, I like Daniels. I like Michael Penix Jr. I like what they did. We're going to hire them. You be like, or draft them. You be like, what did we just do? Like, literally, I think it'll confuse everybody, and everybody be like, oh my God, you want to be first page in first page news on the front paper? Do that. Yep. Do that if you want to. Right. That if you want to.
That's right.
That's a hell of a point, Hawk.
Look at these guys out here. So, I know we talking about Harbaugh, and that's probably a long shot. These guys will probably get a better chance, probably, as far as getting interviewed. But it's on their table. It's on their table. Do players that we currently have now fit their system at the end of the day? Right. So yes.
Exactly. Bryce says, who y'all taking in the draft? If Fashano is not there, again. I was all for Fashanu. Now, man, it's free world. It's free land now, because we don't know who the head coach is. That's the scary part about it. We don't know. If I had to pick, if I'm the coach, maybe Malik Neighbors, if he's there, right? But what's my philosophy? Am I rocking with what I got now? What's my scheme? Are we a run and shoot? Are we a spread offense? What type of offense are we running, right? So that's the unknown. That's the unknown territory we are in right now, to where we just don't know. What about you, Hawk? If hypothetically speaking,
I would say at the end of the day, I still say offensive linemen, even if those guys aren't there. I've seen J.C. Latham, out there from Alabama, awaken. I do see that as well, though. I did see J.C. Latham get his butt kicked in the second half against Michigan. Michigan was giving him problems. And I think more than anything, at the end of the day, we need an offensive lineman to protect Will Levis. At the end of the day, we need that. And no matter who the coach is, you are not going to have a team if you don't have guys up front that are blocking. When I look at the Michigan-Washington game, even there was a lot of holding going on both, especially Michigan side. And Washington number 73 had a hard time with holding and everything. But to me, that's what controlled the game, was up front, the offensive line. So I think at the end of the day, we'd be a fool not to get a lineman, bro. Now, a receiver, yes, if he's out there, for sure. I get that too. I'm still going O-line, bro, the best available. And I'm talking left tackle. Because
even if we move Peter Skoronski to left tackle, because Rand said they will consider that also.
He's got to prove that to me, man. He's got Skoronski got to.
Again, I think I'm with you. Build up that front line, but don't miss out on no blessing either. I'm just saying.
Yeah, if he can. I wanted Skoronski at the left tackle.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so I hope so.
Ricky Jeekins, you said that's what y'all want. Elaborate. Provide more context on that. I want to know what you're talking about. Let's see. Nashville is an attractive place. It's a
It
good
is.
place for where celebrities can come and kind of lay low. But
Yep.
let me say this. It's like that now. It's probably going to be different in the next 10 years. Nashville's turning into the Hollywood of the South. That's just what
That's
it
right.
is.
So if I
uh,
speaking of Nashville, if I'm Rand, you know what I'm telling these coaches, man? I'm like, look, check this out, bro. I know the Chargers, the Raiders. I know these places are attractive to live in LA, live in Vegas. But let's not act like those taxes, them income taxes, are gonna hit you in the face.
Texas, too, getting
Let's
hit
act
with
like
that.
that cost of living ain't gonna hit you a little bit, right? So look at it like in Nashville. We don't have that. We don't have that problem. Cost of living here is still very, very good compared to the country. It's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful state. You have an opportunity to take control. The franchise needs something new, and you can bring that. Come to Tennessee in one of the weakest divisions in football. Let's get it done. It won't take long to turn this thing around. I mean, that's just a small snippet of a sales pitch, man. Very small.
It's a good sales pitch, but VRABEL was and then you got to attract the free agent. It's a lot of stuff that goes and a lot of factors that goes in this. Philip says, who are we picking up?
12 million in California don't go as long as 12 million in Nashville.
That's why everybody's moving from California to Tennessee.
Yep, that's right.
That's why everybody's moving to California from Tennessee. But again,
right.
the weather's
the
weather's. But Philip says, who are we picking up? Who we picking up in the draft? And did they say we're going 7th? Yes, we are going to 7th pick. We do have that. Hope we restructure this whole O line with the exception of Skoronski. So, are you asking who we're going to pick? Again, I think it's going to be an O lineman because I feel like Amy wants to fix that position and Rand needs to fix that position. But Rand was talking today. He said that it was a lot of, and I understand where he was coming from too. And I forgot about this piece. Offensive lineman is almost like the secondary. Secondary, you have a lot of communication. We have to play well together. We have to be like this, lock and step. The offensive line is like that in some ways as well. People think, oh, we got individual this, and this, but it's also a lock and step type thing as well. I got to know what my man to my right's doing, and I got to know what my man to the left is doing if I'm a center. Same way with the guard position, same with the left tackle position. So in the right tackle position. So I believe when he said, well, we had a lot of injuries on the offensive line. I'm like, okay, but still, y'all was still trash. I get it. I get the injuries, but where's the development, right? And I don't know if anybody asked him that from the development prospect, because if we were there, that's probably what would have been my question to him. Like, what goes into developing these offensive linemen to be prepared for that game, and what are they doing to be prepared for their career and become great, right? Instead of you saying they're injured all the time. Okay, I know they're injured all the time, but what are you doing to once they're not injured to not get 16 sacks or 17 sacks a damn game or whatnot, right? I know I'm exaggerating, but still. So that I still say you got to build up. Much as people don't want to hear that, left tackle. Just go the safest pick, get your left tackle, and then hope in the second round that one of these skill guys fall in your lap. I don't know if it will. I don't know. Maybe the receiver position is deep, or you can look at free agency and get you a nice receiver, and you can get you some tackle to help in depth too. So that's me. What about? I know you, Hawk. You already said it. You going to tackle? Well, let me ask you this, people, and Hawk. I'm gonna ask you this too. In the second round, once you got your left tackle, where you going second round? What are you doing?
Maybe the best receiver or corner available, because when you look at our offense, we're one of the worst offenses in the league. And when you look at points and yards, right, one of the worst in the league. And in defense, we're one of the worst when it came to turnovers. The average team in the league was averaging 12 turnovers for the season. We only had 6, and 2 of those interceptions happened against the Jags in the last game of the season. We only had 4 up to this game. So I think best player, again, this could change. Today is January 9th. But as of today, I'm saying best skill position available. Round 2 for me.
Philip says, y'all think we need a receiver or a new offensive-minded coach that could groom Burks? What you think, Hawk? Do you think we need another receivers coach, or you think we need to bring in another receiver?
We need both. We need another receiver, and we need an offensive-minded coach that can groom Burks, because Burks will be here next year. Unless we trade him, but we're not going to get nothing for a first-round pick. So you might as well keep him and groom him. Both.
All
That's
right.
my thought.
Cameron says, I got a question.
Say for you as well. What you think?
Same. I mean, at this point, man, bring in anything that can stick to the wall. Bring them in, shoot.
Yeah.
Cameron says, I got a question for y'all. If we get a good or pretty good left guard in free agency and they move Skronk to left, will you still have a tackle alignment as your first pick? I know, Hawk, you said it earlier. Skoronski, you has to prove it. I think I know. I think I know what's in your crystal ball, my brother. I think you still going tackle.
In the first round,
Yes.
it depends on what Skoronski does up to that point in the draft. Like, from now, today, like today. If
Right.
they feel confident in a first round pick, that's which he was, if they feel he could play left tackle in the first round, I actually might go receiver.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Left
I
tackle, that position needs to be filled. I don't care
yes, I
who it
agree.
is. That should be our number one priority. That should be our number one priority.
I agree. I agree. Let me
Okay.
see. Waken says if Tennessee can get the Oregon State left tackle in the second round, they can get a receiver in the first. Again, it depends. How deep is the left tackle position in this draft? Is it deep?
It's pretty deep. It's pretty
Okay.
good. It's pretty
So
good.
again, if that's how the Titans want to swing it, I would say do that. But if you feel like you got more value in getting are these left tackles generational talents? Right? Can you plug them in day one and play? I know two can. Alt and the kid from Penn State. They're pretty
Yep.
solid. They're pretty
Yep.
solid. And of course, you still have to do work with them. Of course, everybody has a weakness, but I feel like you can, like Skoronski. I give Skoronski credit. Man, I know people give him a hard time, but at least he played his rookie season. At least he was in there doing his thing at left guard. So again, so Tennessee Tactical says, Hawk, do you think the franchise has already made a decision on the new head coach? This was a weirdly timed firing.
So, Tennessee Tactical, let me tell you this. That's why, now, I might be completely, I'm going to say I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong. But that's why I've said about Jim Harbaugh. You just won the national championship. There's news that he wants to go to the NFL. If I'm Jim Harbaugh, I'm going to the NFL because throughout my entire time in Michigan, I was told I was trash, I cheat and all this stuff. I won it for y'all. Now what? Now what? Now I'm going to leave a champion. Y'all hated on me. Now I won. Now y'all want to keep me now? Now I'm the man now, whatever. Holla at your deuces. So unless they know something, that's what I'm saying as to, okay, they must know something, right? Maybe they got to wait till the playoffs sort of play out because who wouldn't want to come to Nashville, bro? A young coach, man, they would love to come here as a head coach. And if Amy and Rand gives you an opportunity to bring in your guys, who wouldn't want to take that? And we paying you a lot of money. So I don't think they've made a decision yet, but I do think, they want to jump on it now. They don't want to wait. Like, look, we got 5 or 6 coaches right now we can look at. So the answer is no, but I do think they're ready to jump gun and get to somebody now. Yep.
All right. What direction do we go when it comes to defensive coordinator? Is it me or was our third down defense trash this year? Hawk, what direction do we go in defensive coordinator? You have any names in mind?
Not necessarily. I mean, I can't say Jim Schwartz because he's doing that in Cleveland. I wouldn't want to, bring him back for the same position. He'll probably want to look for a head coaching job. Not right now. I think between Shane Bowen and Tim Kelly, Shane Bowen would probably be the safest to stay, probably. But I think they probably could get rid of him because at the end of the day, we didn't cause turnovers. We were number 1 in the league in red zone defense. I'll give him that. Shout out to them for that. But we didn't cause turnovers. We didn't make any interceptions. And, we had real bad games in stopping the run. We're in the middle type of a defense as far as ranking, I think like 18th in the league in defense. So that's not good enough to say you got a solid hold on to your job. So I think we should go a different direction. What about you, Jacques?
We better go a different direction. Don't keep nobody from this old regime. Get them all up out of here. Like, we need a new direction. We need a new scheme. We need a new, just fresh. We need something fresh. Names come to Alex said Matt Patricia. Wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad. Maybe. And if Steve Wilk doesn't get a head coaching job, he wouldn't be bad either. Yes, our third down defense was. I think our third down defense was trash. Yes, it was. It was. So yes, and to your point, no turnovers. We ain't getting no turnovers. Yeah, nah. So Scary Harris says, how many positions we have to move up to get Marvin Harrison Jr.? Is it doable? I don't think we have enough capital to do that, in my opinion.
Facts.
If we would have lost to the Jags, I believe, and if stuff would have fell in our favor, we might have moved up to number 4. But I just don't think we have enough capital. I don't think he's falling out of the top 3 if possible, right?
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, unfortunately, I would love to get him. If he fell in our lap, man, that's a generational receiver that you can't pass up.
That's right.
Unfortunately, we won't be there.
Yeah, that's right. You know what's interesting, Jacques, with these comments? Tell me if y'all feel me on this. We talked about Mike VRABEL early in the show and half of the show, right? Everyone is looking at the future, bro. I ain't seen nobody talk about, man, it's effed up what they did to VRABEL, bro. And, we need Mike VRABEL. I haven't seen that at all in the comments. Everybody's kind of like, okay, so what's next? What's next, right?
Yep.
I think that's interesting.
Yep.
That's just
because, I think people have seen enough. I think we've seen enough about 2 years ago. And I think once you start losing is when it really comes out. But when you're winning and you're winning a certain way, I think people are okay with that. But again, we're not winning like the new style of football. So like I've told you, I'm mentally fatigued. I'm fatigued with this staff, right? Yeah. So Titan South said, what are the odds of Eddie George becoming head coach? A little low. He's doing some great things at Tennessee State, man. Shout out to Tennessee State. And he's getting them prepared and he's doing that thing. I mean, that you can call him, right? You can say, hey, Eddie, what you think? Da, 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 da. Eddie's a coach that he's the opposite of VRABEL. He's a very chill dude, man. Like, I don't know how, did you ever catch any Tennessee State games? I know I went to like 5 of them last year. And just to see how Eddie coaches, Eddie lets his people, man, and I don't know how many people are in Nashville. Shout out to Tennessee State again. That's my school, man. I love it. Yeah. And so just to see him do what he do.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. But I'll go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah. What you say? My bad, Jacques.
I don't know. I don't know. How would you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I like to see Eddie I like to see him coach TSU for a few more years, man, to continue to build, put some more soap behind his ears right now. He's done a great job at TSU. I went to a game. I went to the Jackson State game last year. I didn't go to any games this year at TSU, but I saw plenty of their games. So the Notre Dame game in particular sticks out in my mind. I don't think he's ready yet. Okay. Not yet. Not saying he can't never, but I don't think not yet.
I agree. And I think that's why I was getting that. Standing with the $2 super chat, he said, "My boys, my phone ain't stopped ringing yet." Yes, sir. Stanley, same here.
Same here. Phone blowing up. It's still blowing up, bro. Still blowing up. Stanley Wilson. Boom. Stanley Wilson in the building. Appreciate it, Stanley.
Yes,
what
sir.
Up, man?
Cabo Wabo says Deion Sanders. Boy.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I don't see that. I mean,
especially I would if he was available, I'd interview him, but he ain't coming here.
Yeah.
He ain't. This ain't. Let me say this about Deion. Deion is a flashy dude. He has a certain oomph to him, and I just feel like. Do you see him as a Nashville guy? I see him Atlanta.
He's in Colorado, bro. Yes, he could be wherever. Okay. I just think it's just too much. It's just too much movement, man. He went from
he went
Mississippi and Colorado in 3 years. That's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah. I don't see that.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Ticket holder. Okay, my daughter goes to Tennessee State, by the way.
Yep. Ocho says Ed is not ready. Derek is going to. You think he's going to Miami? Huh. Here's the elephant in the room. Do we really want Derrick Henry back, or do we let him walk and really start fresh and leave that era in the year?
Great question, Bryce.
So I don't know if you heard. Rand said he's open to bringing him back if he wanted to. If it's really on. Again, this is another thing. Derrick's resume is long. It's on Derrick if you want to come back. But I mean, do we let it go? We just start fresh. What do we do? That's a great question.
Yeah, depends on our coach. What's your philosophy? What is it? Would love to have the King back. I'm rocking his jersey as we speak, right? Yep. You know what I'm saying? It depends. It depends on, what is Derrick Henry willing to take as far as pay? Right. You know what I'm saying? If he's looking for $10 or $11 million next year, he probably won't be here. And then another team, will they be willing to jump up to that price? Derrick Henry still got some years to go. You know what I mean? But it just depends. At the end of the day, what does it say at the bottom line on that ink, man? We'd love to bring the King back, bro. But, Yep. Right. He's shocked. Like Derrick Henry. Did you see the comment he had?
Yeah.
Let me pull that up, man. They had asked him. Yeah, Larry Henry was like, just spoke to Derrick Henry's Diana Rossini. He said, wow, I'm shocked. Coach Vrabel's a leader of men. He's a great coach and teacher. I know he'll get another opportunity right away. I look forward to it. So he was shocked.
Yeah, I think that's everybody's initial reaction, especially if you play for him. He's a good dude. You'd be like, damn, my coach just got fired. What am I supposed to say? Yeah. Like sometimes I get why reporters ask certain questions, but I, as a player or as a person, I'd be like, what? I'm not gonna really tell you what I'm really thinking, right? I respect Jameis Winston because Jameis Winston is a funny dude, man. Shout out to Jameis Winston because he's the only player that will kind of tell the truth in a silly way. And shout out to my boy Joe, who's a Saints fan, man. We were talking about that earlier, man. Dude is funny. So I expect Derek to say something like that. I really do. Like, Wake, he says, will Derek return since VRABEL is out? Maybe it depends on money. Do you want to make some more money? Do you want to bring a Super Bowl here? So, again, can you sell it to him? I don't know. Man. Yeah. Let's see. Stanley said he just woke up. I just woke up and don't know if y'all said it, but do y'all think we will crash and burn because of this? That's a great question.
Stanley,
you think we crashing and burning?
I'm putting a stake in the ground right now, January 9th. You can replay this back in a year or two if we made the right decision and those things. Could we crash and burn? Absolutely, we could crash and burn. Yes, we could. We could. But that's the thing about life. Sometimes, man, if you in 2024, man, it's about elevation, bro. Like trying to get to the next step, bro. And so I think that's kind of what we're looking at here. Is like, okay, so let's try something different. This hasn't worked in 2 years. So it can crash and burn. Yes, in 2 years we could be like, man, that was the worst decision ever. Blah 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 blah. But you won't hear me say we shouldn't have done it completely, right? So yes, it could crash and burn, but I'm willing to watch the fire, bro. I'm willing to see if it's gonna happen or not. If we're gonna put gasoline on the wood or we're gonna put water on the wood, we'll see. Yep, we'll see.
I agree.
Because if we don't crash and burn and we turn this thing around, it's well worth it.
Yep. And like you said, with life, you start a business, you're gonna crash and burn eventually. If it's coming out the gate, or you might lose in the middle, but you're gonna, like you said, with this YouTube channel, we initially took the leap. We could have sit back and just waited and kept doing what we're doing. We could have crashed and burned. It is what it is. So if you don't take the leap, you won't know. And maybe if it's too late or if it's not too late, we only get one time. So why not just do it?
That's right. Cook ran. It's on him. Cook, bro. Cook.
Yes, sir. And look at the excitement. There's more excitement. I think this actually is sparking the fan base in a good way, in a bad way, right? We were the talk of the town in a good way, in a bad way. This just happens. And shout out to Amy for shaking the trees, because she did. She shook it.
She sure is shaking Mike VRABEL on here.
Yes. You want to know something about Traylon? Let me say this. He said, realistically, Burks better be working his tail out better than we've ever did because of a new head coach and OC. Ain't finna wait on him. So I'm gonna say this about Burks. Is it the philosophy? When we bring the new coach in, will this listen to me? Will this help out on injuries the way the new philosophy goes? Will Burks elevate? We don't know, right? We don't know what type of scheme this offense is going to bring. Now, if we go get Ben Johnson from the Detroit Lions, let me tell you what he was able to do. Something that everybody was like he was trash when he was here was Josh Reynolds. Oh, Josh Reynolds sucks. Why can't not Josh Reynolds catch the ball? All of a sudden, I cut on the TV in Detroit, and I'm like, I'm hawking the hawk. I said, is that Josh Reynolds? He's like, yeah, bro, that's Josh Reynolds. That joker, he doing that? Khalif Raymond. Khalif Raymond? What? Khalif Raymond out there balling? What? So if you bring in a Ben Johnson, he might look at Traylon and be like, oh, I can work with him. You know what? You've been using him the wrong the whole time. What do you mean you've been using him wrong the whole time? Well, did you not watch his college tape? Do you know the boy can win on 50-50 balls? Do you know the boy got that slant? Boom, go. He's about as big as AJ, not as fast as AJ, but he got a little rack to him. Are we putting these routes and combinations in the wrong thing? Right?
Yep.
What are we not? Are we paying attention to what we got? It's like me having a spaceship, and I got a spaceship, man. I'm gonna go in here and try. I don't know how to operate a spaceship, but you just gave me one, right? So again, Ben Johnson, you get him in there, I can look and prove and be like, well, this joker took Matt Castle to the stars again, right? He got Gibbs out there balling. He got those young men on offense balling, like killing the game. So that's my thing. I'm like, okay, what are we doing? Are we using them wrong? So that's why I'm not all in giving up on Burks. That's just me personally, because you can use them. Another man's trash is another man's treasure. Somebody wanted to trade for him. Somebody wants him out there. I'm just saying.
Yep. Agreed, man.
Ben Johnson knows scheme. Yeah, he do know scheme, man. He does.
He does.
He
He
does.
does. He does.
He said he's cooking chocolates.
He's
Come on,
chocolate.
man.
Pause. But I'm gonna tell you, you know what Amy Adams said to Mike Vrabel today, man. You know what she said, man? She said, "Hey, sit your $5 ass down before I make change, man." That's what what she told Mike Vrabel today, man. Sit your $5 ass down before I make change. Damn, Amy.
That's funny.
Damn.
Hold on. Let's see. Is it just me or did the play call look better for Tannehill than it? Again, when you got the king back there, because I mean they damn near ran the ball like they used to back in the day. When you got Spears and King got there, you ain't got to do too much.
That's right.
That's the thing.
I think the key was the offensive line. That was just my
opinion. And they blocked. They did block,
didn't they? They blocked, but so you actually could see what they're doing, right? You
yes,
see it.
Yeah, it's weird, bro.
It's hard to see a play when it gets blown up as soon as somebody gets the football. You know
exactly.
what I mean? But
yeah, I think we putting up over 30 next year.
Man.
It depends. It depends on who you bring in.
That's true.
Whoever you bring in, maybe, and we'll see, right?
Hey, she said we better. Man, we better put up 30 next year. We better, or I'm gonna be firing Rand and everybody else. We better. Hey. I know that's what she's saying.
Yep. She said I still think we should grab Terrence Marshall Jr. from the Panthers. If he fits the scheme, bring him in. I'll say that. If you're gonna hear me say that a lot, if whatever scheme we run and he fits it, do it. Do it. Just do it. So
that'd be all right. Yeah.
Ocho says, unrelated. Who y'all got going to the Super Bowl? Who's your sleeper pick? Who you think's going to the champ, man?
I'm not sure. I just to be honest with y'all, I hadn't looked at it in depth for me to give you a definitive answer. Baltimore's going to be strong. The 49ers are going to be strong. They're both, one seed in their division. And so I don't know. I haven't looked at it in depth yet, man. I'll get into playoff mode. I'm still kind of reeling with the Titans right now. Can't believe that we're having a 6-11 season, not knowing what we're going to do. So I don't know yet. What about you, Jacques?
I'm like you. I would say this though. This playoffs this year, it's a lot of uncertainty. We don't know who's gonna go to the Super Bowl because I think everybody's kind of not average, but you don't have a real dominator besides the Ravens in the AFC. And in the NFC, I would have said the Eagles, but you got the 49ers. But the way the Ravens beat up on the 49ers, I just don't know. So right now, I can say, if I hate to say it, the Ravens got the better chance to get to the Super Bowl. The way they've been playing on defense and the way they've been playing on offense.
Yeah.
On the other side, I would probably say either Cowboys got a shot in the 49ers. Those are the two teams in the NFC that I feel like has the better shot. Now, whoever, if it's between the Ravens and the 49ers, which will be a rematch from the 2012, I think the Ravens will get them again. And if it's the Cowboys and the Ravens, I think the Ravens will still get them. Just the Ravens are just too. They just got too much, man. The Ravens are up there. Shout out to Engraven, by the way. Engraven the Raven.
Yep. Shout out to Engraven. The great Engraven. Hey, and man, subscriber count is going. That dude is a beast, bro. Shout out to
Engraven. He is, man. Shout out to that. Shout out to that brother.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tommy says, if y'all have to be a coach out of college to come coach the Titans, who would it be? College coach, man.
A college coach. But hey, what you, Tommy Dixon? Maybe you just joined us or whatever. My answer is solid. Solid as a rock.
Mr. Jim, I would go Jim.
In the discussion.
I would go with Jim. I would go with Jim. I'm with you, Hawk. Jim. Yep. Jim Harbaugh. Yep. I agree 100%. Jim. If you can get him, get him.
Yep.
I just don't think anybody else in college.
Yeah,
Jim.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I would want a college coach, to be honest. Like a guy maybe who. Jim Harbaugh is a quasi college coach because he's had NFL experience. So he ain't just a fresh, straight college coach. He's been to the Super Bowl. The Harbaughs know how to win, man. Shout out to Jim and John, Jack and his wife, man. Like they're winners, bro. They win, bro. And it's something to be said about that. So
Bryce says, how quickly y'all think we'll hire a head coach? How can they start interviewing now? They can they? Or they gotta wait.
I think that I haven't heard anyone interviewing anybody yet, so it must be maybe a probate period right now.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna be quick.
I don't either. I think it's gonna be a slow, drawn out process to figure out this thing and figure out who. That's you're replacing a good coach, so
that's right.
You gotta live up to it, especially if you don't have any proven resume behind you. And if I'm hiring you for the first time, Just because you're offensive coordinator doesn't mean you can be a great head coach. I'm just saying.
That's right. Well, let these coaches that are in the playoffs, let them coach, man. Let them
Right.
focus right now, bro.
We
We'll be
got the short
around.
end of the stick. We got the short end of the stick with that with Arthur Smith.
Yep. And speaking of Arthur Smith, no one has brought up Arthur Smith in our comment.
Nope. Don't you bring him? No.
Don't you bring no Arthur Smith here?
Man, you better not touch
People
no
might
Arthur Smith.
disagree with that. Don't you bring Arthur Smith here as an offensive coordinator?
Nope. Ron said he trusts the Ravens in the playoffs. Now go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that was it.
Yeah. No, I'm 100% on you. Better not do that. So okay. So Tremaine, what up, bro? He said, I think the Titans need a fundamentally sound, disciplinary type of coach like Tony Dungy or Jim Caldwell.
Tremaine,
do you think that'll work in this day and age of football, though?
Nope. Tremaine, here's my thoughts on that, Tremaine. I think this is a good point, sir. I get it. I do understand that. But I think Mike Vrabel's that guy too. I think he's part of that too. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what Amy is kind of like. I want something fresh. I want a whole different dynamic than what we've had, because Mike Mularkey was like that.
Yep.
Ken Wisenhunt was like that.
Yep.
Mike Munchak was like that.
Yep.
So, yep.
Not saying you want. Well, Hawk, what did you say? You was in Miami. I'm gonna put you on the spot here, and you went to the game. You got to do some amazing stuff. What was the surrounding conversation about Mike McDaniels?
Yeah. So, I have some connections, and from what I heard about Mike McDaniels, he's a younger guy. He doesn't even look like he knows anything about football. He looks like he plays video games all day. But they said that, man, the one thing about him, man, is that, first of all, he's extremely smart up here. And he gives his team a lot of confidence, like players, because he told Tua, man, look, you're going to be great this year. And, he didn't do that well last year, right, at all. And so they say around the culture of the Miami Dolphins is very open, sort of like an open book type of a deal there. Now, again, Miami, they have their issues. Don't get me wrong, right? They can't beat a team that's above 500 to save their lives. But Miami's in the playoffs and we're not. And Mike McDaniels is a new coach. And I think, when you have an introspective coach like him that can bring other people around him as well like that, you might have a winning formula, because there's a lot of younger coaches like that these days. They're more analytical than say, hey, you need to do this, and you need to, we need to run through this hole this way, and this, it's more analytical. Like maybe on third down, we need to look at this and things like that. So yeah,
you said it, Hawk. And listen to what you just said, analytics. I know a lot of people don't like to hear it because they see X's and O's, but that's the way the game is going. And like you said, he straps a camera onto Tua in practice to see what Tua is seeing, so Tua can see what he's seeing.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
That's innovative, man. And I think that's what Amy is looking for, is innovation. And shout out to you for bringing that insight, man. What did I want to bring that? I wanted to bring this up. Oh, hold on. Somebody said bring him in as an offensive coordinator. I wouldn't even do that. I think he needs to do this.
I get it. Titan South, I get it. I understand that, because Arthur Smith was a beast here as an OC. That's why he got hired as a head coach, and he made Ryan Tannehill great. Derrick Henry and all. But now let's do something different.
Cameron said it. He need to go back with his daddy. He need to go back to FedEx. Remy with a $9.99.
That's a good comment.
$9.99 super chat. He says, all I know, I want to see Charles London as offensive coordinator. I think he'll be the only one to get to stay. Hit him with that boom, huh?
Remy, do
boom.
Remy Jaman with the super chat, bro. We appreciate it. Hey, do people know who Charles London is? First of all, I want to, Charles London is a quarterback coach.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he has actually, I think, has done a pretty good job, man.
He has done an amazing job.
He really has, man.
He might get a shot at interviewing for the head coaching job. It wouldn't surprise me.
He might.
It would not surprise me. But what he's been able to do with Levis?
Yep. That's right.
Hey, you know what's scary about him? What he was able to do with Levis can get him a head coaching job somewhere, or get him.
Right.
He'll be the only one that stays.
Or an OC somewhere. Right.
Yep.
Now, a quarterback coach and an OC is two different positions, right?
Yes.
But a lot of OCs do come from that type of pedigree, coaching receivers or quarterbacks. That's like the next step. So it depends on how he can draw plays and design plays, but he definitely has done a great job at the quarterback position, even though we can't block my grandmother on the end. So
right.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and I think Max Titan, he says McDaniel, the millennial coach, face blue smiling. And he's not a millennial, is he? He's your age, anyhow.
Yeah, I get what Max Titan
Me
is saying,
too.
man. Just kind
Yeah.
of like newer
He's
coach. Yeah,
progressive.
yeah, yeah,
He's a progressive coach.
yeah.
I
He
would say
is.
that he's a very progressive coach. He's an
Yep,
inclusive coach. Like
yep,
dude is super chill, man. Like he's super
yep,
chill. You almost make it. He might need to be drugged in a drug test the way he
yep,
chill.
yep, yep.
Then I'm starting to think firing VRABEL was the only way to get his friends out the door. Let's
Might
see.
be, man.
I just don't want the panic when this doesn't work right away. And you
Good point,
correct, Jake
Jake
Young.
Young.
Because overreaction, it'll be an overreaction if we. I expect us to have some stumbles next year. I do. I expect the learning curve. I expect because they have to come in and learn a whole new system.
That's right.
You got a whole no offensive playbook. Defense might change up. We might go from a 3-4 to a 4-3. You just
Yep,
never know. So
yep,
I'm willing to be patient. We've been patient enough. I'm willing to
yep,
be more patient. Will
yep.
y'all keep Rob Moore, the receivers coach? I remember AJ talking highly about him and D Hop. Would you keep him out, or you think we need a fresh start from the wide receiver coach perspective?
Depends on who the options are, man. You're only as good as your options, right? So if
Yep.
you get your head coach, what does the head coach think? Is him and Rob, are they gonna click? You know what I mean? That's important. You could be a good
Right.
coach, but you got to have that connection with the head coach. So
Right.
I would like to, but if we got rid of him, I get it. I understand. I do.
Maybe they'll evaluate. Maybe they will evaluate the position coaches by the way the team performed last year, right? What position was from the highest to the lowest? And so, if the receiver group is in that if I got a data chart, if I got a Excel spreadsheet and I'm grading it by analytics, I'm like, okay,
Yep.
my receivers did pretty solid. D Hop got 1,000 yards, so he's doing his thing. Chris
That's
Moore
right.
did what he did. Blah 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 blah. Right. Then I'll
Yep.
say, okay, Rob, we're gonna reevaluate you. I might not need to go get a receivers coach. Offensive line coach, you can fire tomorrow, bro.
Yep.
Matter of fact, you can take that suitcase that Will Levis gave to the offensive lineman and you can take it and pack it and go home too. That's just what it
That's
is.
right.
We need a real O-line coach. We need somebody. Taylor Lewan. Taylor Lewan. You want a job, bro? You want a job? I'm being that man. See, man, y'all tag Taylor in this video. Taylor, you want a job? Y'all better hit up Taylor. He'll be a good OC. I mean, a lineman's coach. He played offensive lineman. I know he got the thing with busting with the boys, but why not? He was a Pro Bowler.
Yep.
Why not? He could teach the position.
Yep.
Just saying.
Cook ran. Cook.
I'm just saying.
Left,
Hey,
ran. Cook. Cook
you
ran.
watching this video, bro? I'm just saying.
Cook.
Hey, Ben Jones too. Hey, there you go. You make it a collective. You can have Taylor Lewan over here, and Ben Jones right here, and you can bring them together, and that'll be one silly offensive line room. But I would love it. I would love it.
Cook
Why
ran.
not?
Cook. Put it in the bowl. Cook ran.
Raven 76B more. What up, bro? He said salute, passing through, showing love. Good night, bros. Hey,
What's
y'all
up,
good
Raven
luck.
76? Hey, we appreciate your support as always, sir. We appreciate
Yes,
it, man.
sir.
Good luck to y'all,
Yes, sir.
man.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully Lamar Jackson can finally get over that hump, man. We'll see.
Right. So the secondary coach, I'm gonna say this. I just don't think I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna take a page from Hawk's book. I don't think we have enough talent in the secondary to really reevaluate. I think we need talent. We need talent. We need to bring somebody in here that we know that I can trust. Sean Murphy's bunting did pretty solid. He was pretty good. And Roger McQuarrie.
Yep.
And Wallace too,
Yep.
the safety. He was pretty solid too. So it depends on what the coaching and the defensive coordinator and how he wants to do. Yep. Ryan Harris, what up, bro?
What up, Ryan?
He said,
what's up, man?
No more Jim Crow offense.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
Oh, man, that's big facts, bro. He funny. Philip Murley says, could we get back Ben Jones? Because didn't he say he'll come out of retirement if we needed him? I don't even know if they tried to call him. Philip, to be honest with you, I would have called him. I would have called him. I would have said, hey, why don't you come and take Brewer's position because he's trash. Like, I'm just saying, like, come on, man. I agree with it. I like it. Tony Webb says, what do you think about Eric Bieniemy? Interview him. What you think, Hawk?
Yeah, interview him. Bring him in. Bring him in. You know, I think, man, I'm going to tell you, I don't know. Again, I don't know what the rumors are about him in Washington. It doesn't seem like Washington is giving him the support to say, hey, we want to have you to at least interview. I don't know if he's still trying to be a head coach, but if he is, interview him. Just see what's up. Yep. Interview him.
Why not? Why
Bieniemy
not?
definitely knows how to coach quarterbacks. You know what
Yes,
I'm
he
saying?
does.
Definitely. And
Mm-hmm.
and you look at Sam Howell for the Commanders. I mean, he had I ain't gonna say he had a great year, but early in the year, mid part of the year, Sam Howell led the league in passing yards. Sam
Right.
Howell, how?
Right. Jakeon says thoughts on us taking Bowers in the 7th pick. Ah, is he Travis Kelsey? I mean, he's pretty good. Bowers is solid. He gonna be a hell of a tight end. But for the 7th pick and we got other needs, I wouldn't do it.
Me neither. We got
That's
other
just me
needs,
personally.
man.
I
We got
wouldn't do
other
it.
we got other needs, man.
Right.
Tight end
Yeah.
is not a need.
Yep.
Tight end
And I
is
feel
not a
like
need.
Chig is gonna get better. I just
Yep.
again, what type of scheme are you running on offense? I don't know. While we
Yep.
done throwing Chig screens, I don't know. Right.
Yep. Yep.
So, and of course,
Yep.
everybody, this is gonna be the biggest talk of the night in the offseason and free agency is T Higgins. Is T Higgins gonna leave? Cincy?
Yep.
And can they pay him and Chase? I don't know.
Nope.
But if
I
he's
don't
out
think
there on
so.
the market, throw the dollars at him, man. You need to
Jamar,
upgrade.
yeah, Jamar Chase has already sort of made a comment about that, as if like they got to pay us both, and I'm not taking a pay cut. So they're letting you know, hey, bro, you do your thing, T. I'm good. And Cincinnati don't really need two receivers like that. They got other problems, man. They got offensive line problems.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They got DB problems. So let T Higgins go. That's all right with me. Bring him on back to Tennessee, man.
Exactly. So Tony Webb, the rumors already spreading? Are they already looming? There are rumors about Jim Harbaugh. Are they saying he's coming to us? Well, talk to us, man. Put context in there for me if you don't mind, my brother. We appreciate
That's
it.
right.
Tommy Dixon says, "Would y'all bring back Derrick Henry?" I would. I would love to bring back Derrick Henry. Because I feel like Derrick Henry is a talent that you can continue to build off of. But it'll be almost like a back roll. Like, hey, this is the premier. You the secondary. Do what you got to do. But I would. I mean, I would like to see him retire as a Titan. That's just me being biased. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wanting if anyone gets resigned. Who do y'all think gets resigned? Let me see. Who are free agents next year? Derek, Ryan Tannehill, Danico Archery,
Al Shahir,
Sean Bunting, Arden.
Kayvon Wallace.
Didn't Arden sign a 3-year deal?
Arden signed 2 year. My bad.
2 year. Okay.
Yep.
Andre Dillard, he signed a 2 year. You could probably get rid of him. I want to bring back Danico for sure. I like Danico. He's been productive. Unless you see somebody in college that in the draft that is almost like him. Yeah. I would like to sign Danico. Sean Murphy Bunting, I would like to resign him also. I feel he proved Alshire. I definitely want to resign him.
Fifth in the league in tackles.
Yes, we have to bring him back. In my opinion, sign him to a multi-year deal. You ain't got to break the bank on him, but sign him. Yep. Trying to think who else. Tannehill not coming back. Derek, if you can get Derek on a team-friendly deal, I'd do it. I'll do it.
Yep.
In my opinion. But Archery for a fact. Archery's number one. Al Shahir's number two.
Archery's gonna, I think next year, deservingly so. The Tennessee Titans were the only team in the league that had 2 guys that had over double digits of sacks. Him and Harold Landry. Harold Landry's got his money. Danico Archery's 32 years old. He's gonna probably want a 2-year deal somewhere that's gonna pay him pretty well. He's going to add, you know what? There's a market for Danico Archery. So if we do keep him, you best believe that price tag going to be a little heftier than probably what they expected.
Yeah.
Yup.
Are we getting a comp pick next year, Hawk? Did we get a comp pick next year?
Get a what now?
A comp pick. A compensatory pick?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Kyrie Hill Jackson, he should be fine. He was actually balling, man. He was pretty solid, man. When he was playing. Let me say that. Okay.
So Kyrie Jackson, from Georgia, yeah.
Yep. He was. Who will y'all bring back? Who will y'all bring in as the backup quarterback? I wouldn't. And if anybody's thinking Tannehill, hell no, don't bring him. Tannehill we need a fresh start. Malik, I think he'll be gone. Maybe I don't know if is his 4th year. Is his 4th year, 3rd year, 4th year? He's still in his rookie contract.
He's got one more. He's still in his rookie contract. He will contractually he'll still be under contract.
He'll still be under contract. I see that. Because Will Levis, I mean, that's one thing
Archer's
that scares
34,
me.
by the way.
Oh damn! So he's my age. shout out to Danico. Man, because the thing is, the problem with Will Levis I'm seeing is his injury history. I think he needs to whole offseason. He just needs to heal up and get in a hyperbaric chamber and just chill and get his body right. So we're gonna need a backup quarterback. Do I think Malik is the person? I don't know. Do the new coach think that? He might not think Malik is a good backup quarterback, so he might ask him out too. So it depends on the new coach. As a backup quarterback, the fair thing is nobody knows the system. Tommy, I think Kirk Cousins might be staying in Minnesota. He said he's willing to take a little team-friendly deal to stay in Minnesota. If Kirk Cousins is available, Kirk Cousins trying to start somewhere. He ain't trying to sit back and be no backup.
Right.
Man, Hawk, you got anybody in mind that you can think of?
I would say this, man. You bring in a veteran quarterback that could compete with Malik Willis, and you let them battle it out, right? Let them battle it out. And if we had enough draft picks, I'd say maybe draft one like in the 5th round, even just to battle.
The same thing.
I don't think we have enough picks, and quarterback is not a need right now. So I think you bring Malik Willis back contractually, he has that, right? But bring somebody else in, let him compete. That's what you do as the backup quarterback. Is Malik Willis the short shot for the backup? No, he's not. He's not.
Right.
I'm not going in thinking I'm confident that he's going to be our backup quarterback. I'm not. I don't feel confident right now. He's got work to do. He's got work to do.
Exactly. So that's why I say it's free game. It's literally free game. Like that, whoever our new coach is might have somebody on his current staff that he sees, okay, I can work with him as a backup quarterback better than I can work with him. So like you said, we're going to bring y'all in to compete. And I'm gonna kick you to the side and do what you gotta do. He said, Malik, Malik might be you funny. Going to the Ravens. I can see it. That's that. I mean, if he has a place, he fits their scheme. Yeah, we probably can learn something from Lamar and them.
They already they got Tyler Huntley, Josh Johnson, and Malik
Cunningham. I know, and Cunningham. Yep.
Ain't no room.
And they almost all like the same quarterback, which is cool. Shout out to the Ravens for that as well. Shout out, I think they're the first team to ever have an all-black quarterback. So shout out to them on that. I give kudos what kudos is, man. So shout out to them. Cameron says, I got a question. If D-Hop wants to be given a better opportunity and we release him and the Bengals resign T, how would you Lord, that's a great question. How would you target the first overall pick? So D-Hop he does have one more year. He does, but I see what you're saying. If D-Hop doesn't feel like Tennessee is the spot, what do we do in the first overall pick, Hawk? So that means we lose a number 1 receiver. T. Higgins signs with the Bengals. Do we change the way we draft in the first round, or do we still pick our left tackle, or do we go receiver at there?
I still think it depends on the coach, but I'm gonna say for today, I still wouldn't change that narrative. I would look for some free agent receivers, maybe young guys, maybe not T. Higgins if he's not available with this question. But I would look for some young guys, maybe 2 or 3 guys that you may have paid for one for T. Higgins. I still look for the offensive line because you can't throw it to a quarterback if the quarterback is on his back. Our quarterbacks, all they've been doing is throwing in the air like this because they've been on their back all season long. That's all. All they've been doing is this all season long for 2 years, man.
But you know what? Will Levis likes that number 1 target too, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. You got to get that young man help, man. We can't keep thinking like this. I get what you're saying with the offensive line. I get that 100%. We need to build that up. But if that's the case in the second round, you have to hit on a receiver that can come in day 1 and start day 1. It has to be. I'm sorry, because he'll be on his back. He ain't gonna be on his back. But then who am I? My number 1 receiver is gone. I don't have D-Hop no more. Oh my God, who am I looking for? Oh, okay, boom.
That's right.
And then that's when you start forcing things. No, man, we got to get this young man. If we're gonna stick with him, we're gonna ride with him. And I'm riding with him. Get him some help. Get my man some help. My man need help. Get him some help. We can't keep leaving this.
Second round would have to have a receiver.
We got
for
to.
sure.
I mean, it's no question that
with this question, right.
Yeah,
but I'm saying receiver. It still could be receiver even without this question in the second round. We need a receiver high that we can for sure.
We got to, bro. Because if you don't get Will Levis help, you're just hindering them all together. Shout out to the Grizzlies, man. Shout out to the Grizzlies. Does Tennessee still have one of the best D lines?
I don't think so.
No, we don't. I agree. Nope, we don't.
Top
Nope.
is in what? Are we saying one is
Top
if we're
10.
saying top, I'm thinking top 5, right?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Nope.
Nope.
I don't.
We're too inconsistent,
Tommy,
man.
I feel you, Tommy. That would be amazing. But bring back Matt Barkley or Josh Dobbs. Nope. I'm gonna be honest
Nope.
with you. Nope. Nope. They have ran their course. I'm gonna say this: any ex Titan or anything that's been in the past besides Derrick Henry, I don't want to smell it. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to look at it. We need something fresh. Right? And if just something fresh by getting somebody a backup quarterback from somewhere else, I'm okay with that. But we've experienced this. We've rolled this ride before. I'm cool on that. Respect the comment, like the comment though, but still. So, uh, let me see. Stanley says, "Remember, I said it here first. Both offensive tackles will not be in the draft when we pick at 7." I agree. I can
Might
see
be
that.
right,
Yep,
Stanley.
I can
You
see
might.
that.
I
Mm-hmm.
probably say you're right about that,
Mm-hmm.
and that'd be kind of crazy because then we like, well, do we draft Latham from Alabama? I don't know.
Is that a panic? Is that a panic pick though? Is that a panic pick?
It
Is
could be
Latham?
Jacques.
That's a panic pick. I don't want a panic pick. I don't. I want to literally go through this thing and make sure I'm doing my homework. If he's not on my board, and he was like my 4th, 5th tackle, and I pick him at 7, I overvalue. I overvalue you. That's what I did. I put too much value on it. So that might be a panic pick, but to get an offensive tackle that bad, I'll wait to the 2nd round. I would. I'm sorry, I would
Yeah.
because if that's my 2 people and they gone, nah, bro. And I in my board in the 2nd round, I got my top left tackle. He's still there. I'm taking him. That's my guy. That's my guy. So again, beef up the O-line, passing course with the draft picks and cap space available. Levis needs to stay healthy. So once we beef up the O-line, Paul, can you look up real quick what other receivers are out there besides T. Higgins? Is that where you can look that up
Yeah.
real quick?
Yeah. We got as far as young receivers that are free agents. We got Gabriel. We got Gabe Davis in Buffalo.
Okay.
Got T. Higgins.
Okay. T. Higgins, yes.
You got Jalen Rager. Yep. You got Jalen Rager. You got Chase Claypool. Nope.
No.
Laviska Shenault. Nope.
Hell no.
You got Mecole Hardman. Nope.
Nah.
But you know who's interesting here? He'd be due a big payday. Michael Pittman Jr.
I would like him.
He's a free agent.
He's reliable. I would like him.
Yep.
I would like him.
Yep.
And
even
that would be my second.
Paris Campbell's out there. Yep. So those are like, right off rip, guys or whatever, Marquise Brown, DJ Shark. These are guys that are, Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel, though, he makes a lot of money for the Commanders. So these guys to me are just right?
Yeah, bunch of dudes. Yep.
You got Calvin Ridley too. Calvin Ridley's almost 30 years old.
I'll take him. I mean, he's a good depth. But he's not been able to do what he was doing in Atlanta. It's just not happening, right? Gabe Davis,
you got Mike Evans. No, only about Mike Evans, man. Mike Evans, that man makes almost $17-18 million a year, man. At 30 years old. Yep. Mike Evans is a monster. But somebody will take a pick on. Somebody will pick him up, but
yes, they
just
will.
depends.
Yeah, unless like you said. And Brock and I see Kevin saying Brock Bowers. I mean, okay, let me ask you this, Kevin. We can pick up Brock Bowers with the 7th pick. I mean, how would you feel about that, Hawk, if we picked up Brock Bowers? I mean, we don't need him. I mean, in my opinion,
we don't need him.
I mean, in my opinion, I don't think. That's an option. Remy, great point. What would you trade for a wide receiver? Let me see. If I see one out there, I can try. But you got to give up some good capital to get a real good one. And so again, D Hop is going to be here, right? He better be here. I think we're okay. Yeah, I mean, what up, LP? LP says Bobby Slow.
What up, LP?
Yep. The offensive coordinator for the Texans, most definitely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep. Shout out to the Texans, how well they played this year, man. Like, they're in there. They're in there, man. They're in there.
Yep. They are.
Yep.
Man,
they should be saluting us too, man, for beating the Jags, by the way.
Man, the Texans, Pittsburgh, and the
Bills. Y'all wear our y'all wear them all the jerseys, man. We appreciate it.
The Texans, the Bills, and the Steelers should be kissing us right now because we helped them, like for real. JS75, what happens? We draft a corner in the 1st round. I wouldn't be mad. It ain't happening though, but I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at all. Lathan is a right, especially when Mike on Winu from the Pats will probably be available. He is a right tackle,
Okay.
ain't
All right.
he? He is.
Bryce
Okay.
Tubbs once again. Do 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 do.
Boom.
Bryce Tubbs in the building once again. We appreciate it, Bryce Tubbs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's see.
Yeah,
I
link
don't
them.
get
Yeah,
it, the
he's a right
Bowers,
tackle. That
because
is true.
yep, I forgot too. Because then what will you do with Chig? Plus, we have Wiley, who is looking pretty nice. I agree.
Right.
I get the Bowers
Yeah.
pick. You know what I mean? Nigel
Yeah.
says, "What's up, brothers? At work watching y'all, and I agree with y'all about the Mike Vrabel firing. So, hey,
Okay.
we appreciate you watching
Okay.
the show, bro. We
Yeah, we
really do.
appreciate you watching the show at work, man. We really do, man. We really do, bro. We really do. We
Let's
really do, man.
see. Tommy says, "I'll bring you one of the 40." Yeah, Brandon Ayuk. If he leaves,
Yep.
I would definitely look at Brandon Ayuk, but I don't
Yeah,
think he's a free
absolutely.
agent. I would,
He's not an
man.
unrestricted free agent. He's a restricted
Okay,
free agent. That's
okay,
a difference.
man.
Yep. He
Put some money on him. Put some money on him. Put some money on him.
yep.
Put some money on
Yep.
him. Like Brandon Ayuk, Brandon, dude, solid. Stanley with another $5 super chat. My guy. He said trade back with Chicago or the Jets. They might want a quarterback. Get that first pick at 9 or 10, early third, and next year's first. I like it. I like
Okay.
it.
Stanley. Hey, Stanley. Do 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 do.
Boom.
Stanley Wilson in the building once again. Appreciate it, Stanley. Trade back with Chicago or the Jets. They might want a quarterback. Get they first pick at 9 or 10, early third. So he wants more picks.
Does Chicago have the number?
Hey, man. Hey, Stanley. They do because of Carolina. So let me tell you, Stanley. That's a great point, dude. Stanley be bringing that fire, bro. So it's kind of like,
Yes,
if you don't get the lineman that you want, man, trade and get more picks. Because at the end of the day, folks, we need more picks. We have the problem with us in our draft picks this year is in the middle of the draft, we don't have any picks. 4th and 5th round, we have no picks in the middle. So you want to fill out the draft as much as possible because we need players. We're going to lose players. We need players on our team, right? So I get that. If we don't get the guy, we could trade down 1 or 2 picks and grab an extra 1 or 2 picks. Man, shoot, that might be the move.
Right. Zerai says, going to be hard to get a value free agent signing. Going to have to break the bank. Titans' national perspective is not looking good. So that's a great thought. Do you think the perception on the Titans right now is looking kind of sour hawk because of what we did?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I think if you look at it nationally, if you're not a Titans fan, first you'd be like, okay, why did they fire Mike Vrabel? Are you kidding me? Vrabel's a great coach. Like, the coach that we have for our team, whatever team that is trash probably, right? Like, I would hire Mike Vrabel tomorrow if I'm another team, right? So then you let go of John Robinson. You traded A.J. Brown for a bag of chips. You know, you got Derrick Henry, might to leave. If you're a fan, like, why is Derrick Henry leaving? That you might just not people might not quite understand how contracts work. But yes, I think the outlook of Tennessee now is kind of like, man, what are they doing? They have no organization over there. They're losing. They're not good. They're a small market team. Yeah, that's a good point, man.
Yep, I can see that as well. Cameron says, if we do trade back to 9 or 10 and then get more picks, y'all taking Rome right there, and Rome is from Washington. If he's there, because Neighbor's going to be gone. I would consider it.
I would too. I'd consider it too. And maybe draft an O-line in the 2nd round. I'd consider it. Yep.
Tommy said, I just saw Mike Vrabel. He went 12 and 21 in the last 2 seasons. Yeah, dude. Yeah, when you're losing, like you said, Hawk, numbers count, right? Stanley says, then go get the South Carolina wide receiver. I like him too, with a kid from South Carolina. And the 2nd round,
Xavier Leggett. Yes. He plays just like A.J. Brown. Xavier Leggett is a big receiver, man.
He's a beast, bro. He's a beast. Titan maximum too. Go ahead.
I was going to speak on Mike Vrabel. I know he showed his record. So we showed this earlier, man. In the last 25 games, Mike Vrabel is 7-18, folks. He himself, I'm sure he understands, like, look, man, I know I don't have the talent. I get that. Part of that's me now. I brought these guys in. I understand that's the Panthers and the Bears and the Cardinals. When you're in that conversation with them, you got to look at yourself and say, man, we ain't won here, bro. I get it. Yep.
So I'm going to throw this out here and I'm going to go to Titan Maximus comment. How much do you think this was self-sabotage? in a way to where in the round the bye, he was up there getting his ring of honor speech, and he's up there sitting up there with Robert Kraft, and they having tea and eating chips, and they just having a good old funky time. How do you go from here to here, right? And I say a franchise is this and that's great. I'm not saying it's self-sabotage, but it's interesting how this whole thing went, man. You're a good coach, bro. He just all of a sudden not trying to make the changes to win, not trying to do this, not trying to do that. It's weird, man. It's weird. It's highly weird. And I expect him to be the New England Patriots next head coach. I do. I expect that. I expect to hear that by at least next week or the week after next about him being named to the New England Patriots. And they'll get him for collusion. Titans Maximum says, if all of Fasano aren't there, I'll trade down. We have to get left tackle, then left tackle free agent. That's true. Left tackles and free agents are old. They're old too.
They're old. They're old. Yep. And not good. Titan Maximum. Yep. You're right. That's why I'm so heavy on getting a lineman. I've seen the free agents. I'm like, bruh, it's not good.
I'm with you. Build it through the draft because at least I got somebody younger I can build versus somebody that's older.
That's right.
That's lost a step
too. Young and cheaper.
Yep. Stanley says he said, hell yeah, it was. I'll try and get New England for tampering. Yes, and that's what I was about to get to. They're tampering. That's tampering. I mean, I don't care how anybody looks at it. Go back and look at the tape. They sitting there, they having a conversation. I'm not gonna sit here with Robert Kraft and he's not gonna ask me, hey man, how's things going over in Tennessee? You know, Robert, man. They all right, man, but I'm kind of ready to get up out of here. Don't worry, VRABEL. We'll figure something out. Let me give you the playbook on how this thing works. The Patriots like to cheat, and so I'm gonna give you our cheating playbook, and this is how you get up out of Tennessee. It's gonna work. You know what I mean? So let's see. Tommy says he thinks 2 years and we'll be back on top. It is quicker nowadays to rebuild than it was back in the day. Back in the day, it'll take you like 4 or 5 years to rebuild.
Yeah.
Now, man, it doesn't take long at all with the great draft, with a couple of free agents, man. You can be back. Like the Texans. Look at the Texans, man. Texans got there fast, too. Jeez.
Yeah. Yep.
Let me see. Bill is staying in New England. I think VRABEL goes and coaches his sons Atlanta, just my opinion.
Okay,
you think he'll go to Atlanta? Okay.
Okay.
Does Atlanta want that? I mean, because Hawk, a lot of Atlanta Falcon fans. Like I know a lot of Atlanta Falcon fans, and I got a lot of calls about Arthur Smith. And I told him, I said, hey, he's unproven, but you'll see what you got.
They'll take VRABEL. Atlanta will take VRABEL in a heartbeat. I think, based on what they've had to deal with over the last 3 years, man, I think they'll take him in a heartbeat.
But I think the Patriots ain't gonna let him slip. They just can't. And somebody called in from Boston on the radio today. They're excited. They're excited in Boston. They think that Belichick is gone and VRABEL's coming in. They just do. I mean,
and if that does happen, hey, good luck. With VRABEL, that's where he comes from. That's where that's where he had his best moments. I think VRABEL will still do a great job. He has to work on. Everybody got something to work on. Like when things don't work out, it's like, okay, what is it? I'm looking in the mirror. What do I need to work on? I need to work on having better staff, right?
Yep.
I need to maybe let go of some of the control that I think that I have. I need to build a better roster. Things I need to work on because I got the coaching down. I can coach men, but I need people that can come in here and give me the X's and O's and things like that. So when you're looking in the mirror, that's what you got to look at.
And it's crazy. He's going to a harder division if he does go to the Patriots. That division is tough, man.
It is tough. Facts.
Lord. Like, it's going to be hard, man. It's going to be real hard to win in that division if he decides to go. See, the luxury, and like you said, you can sell it to Jim Harbaugh. Hey, Jim, I'm going to add to that. This division ain't good, bro, right now, right?
Yep.
So you come in, you're going to be the best coach in the division off rip. And I have a faith that you can bring this and elevate it to the next level. So, again, you're leaving. VRABEL just got fired from the easiest division. It's an up-and-coming division, but it's still anybody's to take.
Yep, that's right.
Let me see. Yes, VRABEL is still on a contract. Yes, he is. To 2026? They extended him to 2026, I believe. So, they still going to have to pay him.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, and Boston's a tougher crowd. He knows how to deal with Boston. He was there in his career. He knows what he's doing.
Yep.
He is Belichick 2.0. He's a nicer version of Belichick. Let me say that.
Yeah.
He's a nicer version. Stanley says, I like the man, but I have a strange feeling that VRABEL just it won't get out of his own way. Yep, and eventually be out the league because of Lou. You know what I mean? So It's like Jeff Fisher. Y'all remember when Jeff Fisher left here, Hawk, and he went to St. Louis? And remember, Jeff Fisher took us to a Super Bowl. Remember that, right?
Yep.
But then he
Yep.
started getting average. And then everybody's like, no, Jeff Fisher's this, that, and the third. He went to St. Louis and he was out the league. So, Stanley, I'm going to say this, bro. I agree with this comment. Like you said, Hawk, if he don't change, other people in the league will see how his antics are. And they'll be like, okay, well, he's a good coach. But, yeah, I mean, do you think Harbaugh's gameplay is any different than Vrabel's? I do. You go back and look at it. Do you think it's different, Hawk?
Well, Harbaugh is more of it's not even close, really. Harbaugh is an X and O's guy. Vrabel is not.
Yep.
Vrabel allows his folks to do the X and O's. Jim Harbaugh's in the rut with them with the X and O's. So I think the game plan is very different just based on who they are as coaches. I think Jim Harbaugh is a developer of coaches as well, too. Now,
yes, he is.
I will say, when I was watching the Michigan game yesterday, my oldest son was like, man, J.J. McCarthy looks like Ryan Tannehill out there. The offense looks just like the Titans because we ran a whole lot. But if you watch Michigan during the season, they had games they was passing the ball a lot, too. Washington can't stop me from running the ball. So you just go for what's your strength. And again, Blake Corum had 2 touchdowns, 150 yards rushing, and so did the other running back. He had 100 yards rushing in the first half. So you go with what works. So, when you look at it overall, Jim Harbaugh's always ran a really good balanced offense. And he runs the show. Him and, Sharon Moore, the offensive coordinator, him and Harbaugh work together. But they're two very different coaches when it comes to offense. Mike Vrabel, I don't know if he knows any players on offense. That's not his game. Right. He's a leader. He's not so much of an X and O's guy. At least that's what I have perceived.
Mm-hmm. I agree. He's not an X and O's guy. That's what got him in trouble. He should actually bring in an X and O's guy for his coordinator and his defensive coordinator. Yep. That way, it makes him look like the great coach, right? You're like, oh, you're a great coach. So Zarice, interesting. When do we start holding Amy Adams accountable like Jacksonville did Shad Khan?
Yeah. We talked about that earlier in the show. That Amy Adams should get be held responsible if this year, and if we don't see promise, and then we don't, based on who we hire, it's going to be huge, and who we sign. If it looks bad, then we got to start putting the accountability on her. Went from John Robinson to Mike Vrabel, now to her. Because of the 3, when we have not been good over the last 2 or 3 seasons, those have been the 3 constants. So now it's on her. So yes, she'll be held accountable. Absolutely, yes. Mm-hmm. She is not. She can be scolded as well. You know what I mean?
Yep. She
wants
not
a certain type of winning system here. It's on you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah,
I agree. She's not above reproach. She does. Yep. She does. She's not above reproach. She holds a lot of, like you said, holds a lot of responsibility for this particular issue. So I agree 100%, man. Like for real. So let me see. Tommy said, which running back at Michigan would y'all look at? Both of them ran amok, man. They ran amok. Yep. They ran amok.
We got Hassan Haskins from Michigan a few years ago. The guy that they looked up to, they were backups for.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Blake Corum is a smaller running back, just like Tajay Spears. I mean, I guess maybe Donovan Edwards. He's a 6'1" running back. He's tall.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You need something. I agree. You need something to offset that speediness.
Yep.
Let me see. Christopher says, what are the odds that we can get Stephon Diggs in some big deal, like next year's first round pick, and give Levis another offensive weapon? I don't like giving up draft capital. I just don't, man. I like to keep my draft picks, and I like to get. I'd rather have more draft picks than not, right?
Right.
And I mean, it's good, but Stephon really hasn't had a productive season. I don't think. I guess he's fatigued in Buffalo. I don't know. But it's not a bad idea. But a first round pick, maybe a third for Stephon, right? He's getting a little older. But I wouldn't give. I like my first round picks, dog. And if it has to be a younger guy that's generational, and that I give up my first round. Well, how you feel about that, Hawk?
Yeah. I won't give a first round pick for no receiver. Especially Stephon Diggs. I think he's 28, 29 years old. So now, I would love to have Steph Diggs here for sure. I don't think Steph Diggs will want to be here. But then again, it just depends on who's our offensive coordinator, who's our head coach. That whole dynamic might change. Well, we might be a pass first offense. Then players will want to come here if you're a receiver.
Yep. Tommy says, I feel like Amy wants to bring a championship to Nashville. That's why. Yes. That's shout out to her, because as Titans fans, we've been to the Super Bowl, but we don't talk about it as much because we're one of the most realistic fan bases out there. I'll say this about us, and I got to give us some kudos. We know we ain't no Super Bowl team, right? But we don't really have Super Bowl aspirations. Man, I'm with her. Like this to me, in my opinion, she's really. I know Bud won a Super Bowl. I know that. But when Rand talks about he wants a Super Bowl and he wants to go there and win it, and then she's talking about Super Bowl, that tells me that they want to win in mindset. They don't want to go to the playoffs and just look cute. They don't want to do that. They want to progress in the playoffs and they want to get to the champ and they want to win it. We've been to the champ before, but we ain't won it, right? Yeah. So that's the get. And when Rand did his press conference, I want to go to the champ and not just go. I want to win a championship. So yeah, I agree 100%. She wants to win a championship. She's gonna do it in any means possible. Do your thing, right?
So
when they gonna start? Go ahead.
We'll go a few more questions, y'all. Man, look, we appreciate everybody rocking with us, man. We had at one point 98 people watching the show, man. We still got a lot of you watching the show. We appreciate everybody's time, man. We really do. The questions are on fire. As always, we appreciate y'all.
So when they gonna start construction on a new stadium? So what I've been hearing in season ticket holders, y'all can contest to this. Then there will be no more tailgating. I don't know if you knew this, but tailgating is done. So no more tailgating. They're moving all the tailgaters to somewhere else. So they're going to break ground soon. I don't know when they're going to break ground. Maybe sometime next year. Hopefully sometime later this year because I think the earlier the better. I'm ready for the stadium to get cracked on now. Yeah. But I think they're going to start preparing now, and they're probably early next year they're going to probably break ground. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Amy's already being held accountable. A lot of yes, that is true. That is true. I've talked to a lot of people that sit around me, a lot of people that I know that are PSL holders that are not renewing their tickets. The tickets prices went up. I don't know, Keisha. I think you're a season ticket holder. There's a couple of more people that are season ticket holders. The ticket prices went up. They didn't go down. They went up. So if I'm gonna continue to pay this amount of money to come see this unproven product, I might as well sell these tickets and go ahead and go by my day. I can watch them from the crib. I can go to the bar. I can go to Hawk's house. We can watch it together. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So you got to speak with your dollars, and I think the Titans spoke. The fans spoke. I mean,
Yep.
It is. Yeah. So
all right. We'll go one more question, y'all.
Braylon Allen, my boy. Let's see.
Yep. The running back from Wisconsin.
Ricky James. Yep. I can see left tackle. Most definitely. I like Spears, another Foreman, like running back. Running backs are cheap everywhere. That's true. You can literally get one. Yeah, you can get one, especially if you got to go offensive line.
That's right.
The offensive line.
Deontay Foreman was a beast here, bro.
Yes, he was. Dude was amazing. That's one thing I got criticism on with the Titans is we have these guys and we don't bring them back. That was somebody we should have bought back, right? Just it's ridiculous, man. Yep. Firing VRABEL, who is legitimately a top 10 coach in his league when he has zero talent outside of two players and giving a dog water of an offensive line. So Jay, it sounded like you wasn't on board for firing VRABEL. Now, Hawk, is he a top 10 coach? What would you consider a top 10 coach in this league? Would you consider it off of wins and numbers, or would you consider it off of respect from the league? What's your definition of a top 10 coach?
Here's a little bit of everything. I think Jay's point on here, I think it's a good point. Top 10 coach in the league when he has zero talent outside of 0-2 players and giving dog water. But here's the question. At the end of the day, we were 6-11.
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. If you want to say it's a top 10 coach with no talent and 6-11 is your meter, then what would be considered as a bad coach? 0-17, 1-16, right? Yep. So I can't say he's a legitimate top 10 coach. I can't say top 10. He's definitely in the top half. I think the question should be reversed. He might be a top 10 coach when it comes to talent. We might be all right as far as coaching players, but I don't think that's the problem. The problem is his staff. You know, is he bringing in the right people? It's not him, but you as a head coach, it's your responsibility to bring these people in. It's your responsibility to get talent in here. We give a lot of blame to John Robinson, as we should. But he was in them waiting rooms, and he was in the conference rooms with with John Robinson, right? So I think it's a bit of everything, right? I think you got to look more at the talent part of it. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Yes, he could coach guys, but he needs other people with him. He can't do it on his own.
I agree. I agree 100%, Hawk. We can get out of here, but I agree. A top 10 coach, man, and the numbers speak for him. And I had to go back and look at the numbers myself. I was like, that's not conducive to what we're trying to produce, right? And that's not conducive of what we're trying to do, especially from a winning perspective. And to be a top 10 coach, yeah, we had talent. When we had talent, he was pretty solid, right?
Yep.
But again, screaming from the mountaintops, you need to bring in some people that's on your level. Those guys wasn't on your level. They're good coordinators for sure, like tight ends or something, or consulting people. But
for sure. So, well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, look, we appreciate everybody tuning in to the show today. As you all know, again, Mike Vrabel fired as the Tennessee Titans coach. We appreciate everybody tuning. Man, we pretty much got almost everybody's got a comment that probably got showed up today, man. So it was a lot of energy as always on the show. You guys asked us the greatest questions ever, man. That keeps the show alive, man. Those questions for sure. So we want to say thank you again. If you have not checked us out on Bleacher Report, man, check us out on Bleacher Report. We'll have shows coming up on there as well, too. Check us out there, post game and things. Since the season's over, we'll be having, after the season things that'll show on there. It gives you a screenshot there, seeing us there on Bleacher Report. You can check us out on Twitter at Titans Weekly 24/7. We're on Instagram at Tennessee Titans Weekly. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. We are in those internet streets, folks.
Yes, sir. We are. And again, appreciate y'all, man, showing love to the show with the super chats. We really appreciate y'all donating and supporting the show and the channel in that way. So, hey, shout out to y'all. Y'all don't have to do that, man. So, again, we got plenty of more content coming out there. Some side funny shows that you guys are like as well. And ladies, you guys are like as well. So, just keep it up. And, man, it's a crazy day, man. But, hey, we had to talk about it. So,
absolutely.
Anyway, Hulk, take us away, brother.
Okay. Well, listen, we hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you, MB. Thanks, guys. I've always seem to catch the end of the show. Hey, you can go back and rewind it as well, too. Go back to the video. You can see it from the start. But again, as we always do, man, look, have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. Hey, let's have a great year. 2024 is here, man. Hey, get your mind right. This year, man, let's make things happen for you personally in your life, whether it be mentally, spiritually, physically, no matter what, emotionally. Get it right this year, man. As we always say it, as we always do, Jacques, facts.
No paper.